Hello there, everyone, and welcome.
Estás mutado.
Oh, wait. Okay. All right. Okay. I'm muted to you guys, but not muted to the stream. Okay. Calm down. I'm still here.
We have a guest today.
Many apparently.
It's a puppy, and there's a cat somewhere.
Okay. All right. So.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Okay.
One thing, guys. I am going to be in honor of the time that we've spent together. I'm going to say this one more time, guys. Go to watch together and watch for your volumes, so we could all listen to some music, you know, as a group. And when you guys are on there, tell me, and I'll start playing the song. But yeah, welcome to the end of campaign roundtable, where all questions will be answered and all secrets revealed, as long as you guys want that to happen. So
Pain. This is a pain episode.
yes, so for you people in chat, I've got good news. In order for you to ask a question, all you need to do is use the channel point reward that says, well, ask a question, and you ask a question and we will answer. You can direct the question to any one of us. It doesn't need to be me, it can be any one of them. So that's pretty great. So if you guys have like any questions for the cast members, please go ahead and ask.
Or you can donate or use your Twitch Prime. Prime Gaming.
No, there's no need. There's already been enough pain for people. So let's.
It's just me or your voice?
Yeah.
Microphone is cracking,
You're talking like you're talking through a bottle. No, it's not cracking up.
One second.
No, but it
seems
like
like
the filter.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's
Like he's
not
speaking from-
filtered. That's weird.
Have you tried to unplug your microphone back in?
Okay, let's see if I can fix it. Give me a second.
No.
All right, I'm gonna go silent for a moment. You guys talk to them.
Hi,
Hey. Hey.
We're dead, we cannot talk.
Petition in the
What's-
chat to
Oh,
bring,
I'm the
shit.
only
bring
one
us
alive,
back,
so...
please.
Fuck you, bitches.
Ah!
Raito is flipping Torbjorn's body.
No, I don't think there's anything left of.
you, bitch! I killed you.
For
Now I
all
have
those
a bubble.
times.
Sad though.
Okay,
Oh, it's back. Okay.
it's better now. It's good.
Yeah.
Weird champ. All right, so as I was saying, you guys can ask questions with the channel point reward. Sorry for that. With channel point reward stuff. So yeah. We will keep on recording all of the questions. I will keep them on the rewards, and then when the time comes, I will ask the questions when chat has it reserved for the like specific section. So the way that I'm gonna conduct this to you guys of the cast is we're gonna go through everything. So ever since the beginning up until where you guys had your fatal encounter with Doomraw. We're gonna start right at the beginning with this. All right. Also, if any of you have like favorite Rune clips or stuff that you want to submit, be my guest. Please do that. Now is the time, so that they can cry while they look at the characters they can no longer play because they're dead. You know, someone's gonna post the Quit into Feet one. That's just gonna happen.
Yep.
But yeah.
That's a classic.
But yeah, anyway, let's start at the beginning. So, at the beginning, Estero wasn't here. Eclipse was not yet. I mean, he was born, but he was just not in the game. So, at the beginning, you guys arrived into what at the time was called Waylay, but then we learned it was Welly, like half a year after. You guys made it into there as a group.
Brighto.
Brighto fell asleep on the ship, and you guys had your first fight with some Brotherhood dudes, and then you tried to question them and torture one of them. It was kind of weird, but that part was just like an intro. The episode after is what I had set as the tutorial area, the village of Sung-an, which is a village that I created. That does not exist in League to my knowledge. Hopefully someone doesn't, please steal it. But you guys made it to the village of Sung-an, and there a bunch of stuff happened. Do you guys remember? And is there anything that you guys remember?
Zombies, the Philias, the guy that greeted us, and everyone looking at us like.
Yeah.
And then
Okay.
There was the hospital and the feed.
So Phileas is actually interesting. The Phileas situation is a pretty interesting thing. Because Phileas was supposed to be a character. Like, I dedicated a few characters to some of my friends, so Phileas was a character 100%. Now, the eggplant was there to bait Imna. It was specifically yes. Why? Because I noticed as soon as like the first episode, I noticed Imna wanted to do a lot of things. She wanted to roll a lot of dice and do things all the time. So I knew, well, I'm gonna place this item as a trap because 100%. She is going to touch it. And I was right. So she touches the eggplant, fails the save, and she is immediately super attracted to Phileas and wants to bone him right then and there. I don't know if you guys remember that, but that's what happened. But then, like, I had created Argath, the demon, and I was like, fuck, man. Like, I have no place to put him now because no one's playing a warlock. And I don't want to exactly make him a villain now. And so Phil and Arg are like best buds. So I put 2 and 2 together. And in that moment, when I know that Phileas is going to escape Sung-an, in that moment, Argath and Phileas became connected. So that's how it happened. If you guys were ever wondering how it was a spur of the moment thing that I made my decision. But there's interesting things about Sung-an. You guys remember the zombies. You guys remember the people that were like all crazy and stuff. And you guys remember also the Luan Khan that was like a bunch of boulders that threw a rock at Sate. Sate got one shot.
Yeah, I remember that one was great.
Yeah, you guys remember that?
Yeah.
And then you guys faced the betrayer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. At the cave.
Exactly.
The cave.
And you guys,
at the bottom, this crystal thing.
yes, you guys saw the first crystal thing, the first Quinlan.
Yeah.
That is very, very important because that was my setup. There's like a whole grand plan around this, and we're gonna be revealing that as we go. But that Quinlan, that little crystal that you guys saw, was actually the first one. That was the first ever corrupted Quinlan that was born. And although people in Sung-an were enveloping this in myth and saying that it was because that man had betrayed people, and so if he had betrayed his friends or his family, that, you know, the corruption kind of got to him. He got really sad, and then he corrupted the Quinlan. That's not true at all. And you guys would have figured out that it wasn't true as you progressed through the story. That's the first secret that I'm going to throw out there. The Quinlan was placed there by none other than Mindpiercer Vogue, the guy that you guys later on faced. He was the one that placed that Quinlan there. That was the first experiment in turning human torture into corruption to corrupt the magic of Ionia. That was just a test. And so you guys did the fight, you beat the fight, everything went on relatively smoothly in that fight. But yeah, that thing was there for a specific reason, because although you guys spent a long time, like a lot of episodes, facing the Brotherhood, you weren't really. You were always up against the Order of the Shadows, who was behind all of this, and specifically one person who was responsible for your death, which is the leader of the Council of Shadows, Grand Master of Shadows, Yuv. So his plan starts the very moment you step foot in Sung-an and you see the Quinlan. And there's like a bunch of clues set around from this moment on the story. up until the final of his plan, and I'm gonna be revealing his grand plan today, so that you guys, as we go, so that you guys, you know, are able to realize the shit you missed, because there was quite a bit.
You're not making this easier. Can we just play after this right away?
No.
I would love that.
No. So, regarding Seung-an, it was a pretty quick stay that you guys had there. You also noticed one thing. It was the only time... Well, actually, no. It was the second time that you noticed a crystal corrupting humanity, but this was the first time that you guys actually noticed. The other one was later. This is the first time you noticed the crystal corrupting humanity, because you saw a bunch of Quinlons. You didn't see humans going all aggressive and shit after that. That was the only time. And no one ever asked the question, like, oh my god, there's like Quinlons here, why aren't the humans acting aggressive? There was a specific reason for it. It was because that one Quinlon was made through human torture, and so it affected humans and mortals a lot more than it affected than the other ones did, because Iskalar's crystals, the Iskalar's Quinlons, were made through arcane ways. It was him expressing his magic in an evil way. It was not through torture, and so it would not affect the people the same way. That was the only time you guys. That was like, if you guys remember that was a clue on how to unveil this plan of the Order of the Shadows, because Iskalar, the way Iskalar produces the Quinlons is different. However, it is an attempt at replicating, and this knowledge plus the book that you found at his place, that would have given you a clue on the Order of the Shadows controlling the Brotherhood from the start, because that's what they did. They controlled the Brotherhood. So yeah. So no questions regarding Seung-an whatsoever. Nothing. All right. You guys probably don't remember half of it, so anyway.
I remember a bit, but it was exploring time.
Yeah,
and getting hit by rocks, and suddenly eggplants.
That was one of the circumstances. That was one of the circumstances where I was like, when I saw your positioning that fight, and I understood that you guys needed help, and so I nerfed a lot of the fights because of the one shot on the rock. All right, so.
Yeah, and then we died with a one shot.
It's not my fault. Not my fault anymore. I couldn't do anything. Either way. Now moving on to Vlanko. So, in Vlanko, there's a lot of shit that happened. Right? A lot of shit went down in Vlanko. So, is there anything that you guys, just so the people in chat know, in Vlanko, there were two members of the Brotherhood, Vex and Rordan. The Brotherhood was sort of this evil organization that wanted to militarize Ionia to fight Noxus. And they had, the brothers were like the leaders, and Vex and Rordan were like two of those leaders that they wanted to eliminate because they were technically bad people. Or they were told that they were bad people. So, you guys face Vex and Rordan in Vlanko, and your first interaction is actually pretty good. You go to find Corno's sword and all of that. So before we move on, there's a lot of stuff that happens here and that I want to tell you guys about, because I tricked you a few times.
Really?
Is there anything that you guys want to ask about Vlanko?
From what we remember, because it was a long time ago. Yep. On my list, I don't have anything.
So
Okay,
I remember a bit, but
I thought you
I
were gonna
just
ask,
remember
like,
the big events. That's all.
okay. Was there an option for us not to fight them?
Yeah. There was. You could have persuaded Vex and Rordan to be on your side. In fact, they were the only two brothers where you could have done that. I'll explain.
On our side.
Yes, to fight with you against the Brotherhood, and I will explain why. First, because they're my two first characters that I created for Rune, and so I loved them and I did not want them to die, so I put that as an option. So part of it is because I was especially interested in those characters. Secondly, I don't know if you remember, but Brido and Torbjorn, I believe it was Brido and Torbjorn, it was Corno and Torbjorn, went to Lady Sue. Lady Sue, who you guys...
Corno.
Yeah.
There you go. Where Lady Sue was Avastaya Shirei.
Yeah, it's when they found
You
out.
guys found out that she was Avastaya Shirei, and she was Kila, which is the one responsible for Rengar's tribe. The visions that she gave you of Vex torturing people, they were a lie.
Oh,
Because
shit.
the Avastaya Shirei had no interest in letting the Brotherhood in having the Brotherhood have control. Why? Because the Brotherhood was controlled by the Order of the Shadows, and one of the ultimate goals of the Order of the Shadows was to kill the Avastaya Shirei and the Avastaya, because they knew of the lie.
The Messiah?
Yeah, they don't
Hold
like they don't like Vastaya. Yeah, so they knew of the lie and they wanted to kill them. So the vision she implanted in your head was a sort of a modify memory spell that she used on you. She's much more powerful than any of you at the time, and she changed your view. So Vex never tortured anyone in the way that you guys saw. That was just the vision that she put on you so that you would fight them. Yeah, and so in that same line, Lady Sue is there in Vlanko as a failsafe. I noticed that you guys were kind of crazy in the way you were playing. So in a lot of these regions, so that you guys would not die super early, I implanted a few failsafes. Lady Sue was one of them. So in case you guys fuck up badly, and it's real bad, and it's the last chance you guys can't escape,
It happened.
Lady Sue is going to step there and help you, because ultimately she wants to destroy the Brotherhood as well. So that's what happened. Lady Sue used this huge burst of power to get the little kid to move you guys away from the to get Hashi to move you guys away from the city, kind of first Hokage style, so that you guys wouldn't die. After Torbjorn so expertly decided to speak out loud in front of the guards. Hey man, we're gonna break in, man.
No. I said it as a player. I remembered it. I said you didn't accept it.
No.
You said it after, like,
No,
I
no.
love her.
Yeah.
Yeah. You said it, and then after I like
You
roll and I
realized
say,
it.
you realize that
Yeah.
you're fucked now. You're like, no, but I meant it as a player. Well, fucking specify that. You don't do a special voice for Torbjorn. How am I supposed to know? Now it's done. It happened. You know? So yeah, you guys got the warehouse disaster.
That was fun though.
Everything exploded. Vex was ridiculously low out of that. Ridiculously low. If you guys had stayed instead of run, you would have killed Vex right there.
We kinda forced that.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys meant to escape, but Vex was super low after that. And then after that, you guys trap Vex and Roydan inside the cave. That was pretty cool plan, using the statues because of the
We
sword.
clapped. I remember we clapped Vex like in 2 or 3 rounds.
Vex was not very strong in terms of like hit points. He did a lot of
Vex-
damage though.
Yeah.
Vex went down
Pew, pew.
quickly. Roydan was
Yeah, Roydan was the real
different.
problem. Roydan was the real problem. He
number
was
3 for the win.
Number 3 finished him off. Dude, if number 3 wasn't there, you guys would have been fucked. I still remember going around. Dude, that was like using GIMP as a battle map. That was
True.
having to like fucking know which statues they were and like counting them. My god, that was like the primordial time of Rune there. But yeah, you guys managed to beat them, and then you meet Adadal and Kennen. Adadal,
Yeah,
which
that was a cool entrance.
Adadal, which you guys, some of you might know, he was supposed to be a playable character or a player character of a friend of mine that was supposed to hop into the campaign, but that he didn't due to incompatibility with schedule. So Adadal, I had art for it because Zenny did it, so I ended up keeping the art and keeping the hero as well. So one cool thing regarding Corno's sword. Corno's sword, as a legendary weapon, was not awakened yet. However, now when you saw him, that sword was in fact awakened now. And I can show you what that sword did. Let me see if it shows. There we go. So, I'm gonna read it for chat for those that really can't read it here, but the sword is ridiculously broken. First of all, the sword now is just a handle that he can summon, and the sword just enters just straight up as just fire. He critically hits on a 19 or a 20, and in addition, his critical hits deal an extra 1d12 fire damage, much like the brutal criticals from barbarians. And now here comes how he destroyed Sung An. If the wielder of the weapon is raging, he can fuse with the sword momentarily, greatly increasing their power. If they hold it within them for more than 10 minutes, they can release it to deal 12d12 fire damage in a 500-foot radius sphere. For each extra 10 minutes, the dice count increases by 10 and the radius increases up to 1 mile. Once this ability is used, the wielder of the weapon gains 2 points of exhaustion if used at first stage, and 4 points of exhaustion if used at any other. So, Corno is a walking nuke. Pretty much. And that's how he destroyed Sung An, and how he destroyed Pubo later on in the story. As long as he fuses with the sword for enough time and sits in the same place, protected by none other than Big Guy Vongoth, he can literally wipe out an entire space. And so he was used as a nuke later on by the group that he was running with. But that was the sword that you guys found at the beginning, and the awakening was going to be a lot later in the game than when you found it, and under specific circumstances. But yeah, there you go. So that finishes the Vlanko part. So we have already a few chat questions here. Let me see if anyone is relevant right now. Not really right now. I know Phil. Okay, I have one question for you, Torbjorn, by Phil. It's not using the right command, but I'll take it anyway. So, you were so into learning Tekken and wrestling moves in Rune. Why did you drop it?
Not worth it.
He got bored.
No, not bored. Not.
You got
worth
bored.
The Dragon Tail was not worth it at all. From what I had to spend a key point where I could spend it using Stunning Strike. It was not worth it at all.
It wasn't, it's true. I made it purposefully not worth it because I hate the fucking move.
I tried it a lot of times, like a normal move where instead of attacking with a weapon, he would be prone, and then if I spent a key point, I would push. It was one of the ideas that I gave Onion.
Yeah, no.
I would push the guy away, and if it hit any obstacle, he would be stunned or something. But Onion didn't want that, so
Yeah, especially at the beginning of the game, you know, I wasn't specifically comfortable with that because I had like a lot going on, creating the own monsters and balancing encounters, so it's pretty hard for me.
yeah. I was trying to think like creatively at the beginning, but then I saw it. Just play the game normally.
You can be creative still, but like creating the move, like making a new like ability is pretty hard.
Yeah.
Because it ruins balance.
Yeah.
And the balance in this was already ruined, mind you. Anyway, we move on to the first.
I think Arga had a question for you.
Yeah, I know. But that is we'll talk about that later.
Okay.
So, the fateful event. Ico, the port of Ico, and the corrupted jeweled protector. So,
That was a landmark.
So I am going to be chat here, okay? At first, I'm gonna set up the business. They're hunting this creature, jeweled protector, giant tiger with wings and crystals on its back. It's really big. It's standing atop a rock, kind of like Lion King style. It was meant to be. It was on purpose. Kind of Lion King style. Looking down at the forest. They approach it to go hunt it. It's kind of like just looking but not paying attention. They could have snuck up behind it. Some of them did. Now, I'm going to be the first to ask, What the fuck was going on in your mind during that?
We just outrun them.
What the fuck, dude?
What was going on in
Very
that?
fast.
Oh man.
That was the first disaster, dude.
Bro,
And I even
Yeah, let's hit
did the
crystal.
first command right. You failed the save, and you still get up and keep going.
because I
That's
just saw
just-
he was
why?
guarding the entrance, so I just okay, I'll call his attention. I'm fast as fuck. I had like
He flies! What the fuck?
Big
yeah,
crystal.
but there were trees. You see, there were trees,
does
and
that
Flash
mean, though?
trees.
I could hide, but it seems that not. I didn't even roll one stealth or anything. So
You purposely got its attention and started running.
Yeah,
You
I
said
got
you
its
wiggled your
attention.
arms and started
yeah,
running.
and then I started running. And
You think he doesn't laser in on you, dude?
sure, but like I think I had like 90 feet of movement per turn, but
No, you didn't.
I did.
Well, he had like 120 feet flight
Yeah.
speed, so it's fucked, man.
Flight speed it's always
And
either
no, and-
60 or 80.
And he had the laser beam from his forehead.
Yeah, I didn't know he had a laser beam.
Of course you didn't. That's
They didn't
why.
do anything.
That's why when we don't know shit, we don't attract the beast and fight it alone.
It was the plan. I tried it. It failed.
Okay. Yeah, it did. But that generated the meme of you dying and waking up on different spots at all time,
Yeah.
which was good. But I have another question, because this was not the only like 3-head thing that happened. Giant crystal, Brighto, healing crystal, Sade, hitting crystal. What the fuck? You saw that when you hit it once, it spawned shadows. Why did you hit it again?
I used to be like, oh, it's happening stuff. And I was like, oh, maybe I can destroy it. So I just That was the
That
launch.
was- That was
I
the.
just tried to break. I tried one more to see if you would say something like, oh, it's starting to crack, you know?
Uh-huh.
I don't get that fight. That fight was
That fight. That.
There's only one fight that was very similar to this one, and it was Doomrolls.
The last one.
Yeah. Like, Brighto was.
Oh, we didn't have anyone to make a portal for us
That
to
was
escape.
no problem.
Brighto was healing the crystal, and it was like fixing the problem, but then you were hitting it, and you were making it worse. Oh my god! When you said that, I'm like,
It made sense.
dude,
I just wanted to test the waters again.
oh my god!
2
when you-
times was the charm.
Dude,
no.
Imna, look. As I said, I had been nerfing the fight. This fight was gonna be super hard because Torbjorn had already messed up. When you said I'll hit it again, I swear to God, my heart dropped into my ass, dude. I was like, it's over. It is
Yeah.
actually over.
Yeah,
They are
I'm-
dead now.
Yeah, if it wasn't for Corno opening up the portal,
Yeah.
we would have died.
That was legit clutch. And not only that, going back and saving Sade from the mind control. And then that
Yeah.
generated another meme because that was the part when Brighto said that to pop him off of mind control, you should talk about his mom.
Yeah.
And then Thorben's like super confused. What, I should talk about your mom? What does that mean?
Oh my god.
Yeah. That was weird, champ. But yeah, Aiko was a fucking disaster. That was but then you guys got on the ship with Masamu and Musama and stuff.
But then we blew
Yeah.
up. We blew up
That's
half a village because of the portal.
Oh shit, yeah, the
Yeah,
laser went
just
through.
laser
Oh
beam.
my god. The laser went through the
And
portal
it's
and
the same
destroyed
city that is destroyed at the end by Corn. I love it.
No. It was Welly.
It
This was
wasn't
Welly.
Welly?
It was Welly.
Okay,
But the
okay,
city
okay.
corner destroyed was Sungan. It was the
Oh,
small
okay,
village.
okay.
Dude, it was all just fucking wiped and
Yep.
actually there's a
Yeah.
second time that Welly is destroyed. It's when Vongov
There you
is
go.
there and you guys are fighting
There
and he
you
just
go.
throws people at buildings.
Yeah.
Dude, Welly suffered because of you idiots.
Alright.
But yeah, in Aiko, then you guys catch the ship to the other side, and
To get-
to the
The other
island.
one of one of Said's.
The Kila's
special-
tooth. Yeah, that's where you met the Tigra and the Leons and shit like that.
Yeah, dude.
I thought that I was gonna break Pader with that. I was making the names for the creatures and I was like, he's not gonna stop laughing. When I do this, he's not going to stop laughing. It worked kinda, but it ended up being people making fun of me.
Yes.
But
I
it was
like, dude, that's
it was for Pader. It was specifically for him that I was doing that. Actually, before that, for you guys to return to Aiko, you met Karab Cells. I just remembered.
Yeah.
That was the first time you met her. Karab Cells is actually there, literally, so that you guys don't have to spend weeks of in-game time to make it back to Aiko. That's the only reason I put her there, is so that you guys can go there. Because otherwise,
She's a guide.
I sensed there was gonna be some fucking shit.
By the
happening
way,
there.
why did you make the torch like ridiculously like nerfed
No,
after
no.
the Iceland?
The torch wasn't ridiculously nerfed. The torch was specifically, it was specifically for that instance, for that dungeon. That item was specifically to work only on that dungeon, so that you guys could see the guardian when it went invisible. It was the specific function of that. And then after Imna grabs the tooth,
I lose it.
no, it's actually pretty important. That's one of that's the moment where Kila's or Sue's connection to her increases, and she takes in a spot in Said's consciousness. It's in that moment, and it was very important to me that worked, and it worked.
Isn't in the same dungeon that Said gets stung by Argon?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly the same
It
one.
is.
That's
We
why
had
I
a
said.
weird
When you
dream
guys have
about
weird dreams, there you go.
Philius.
Yeah, you guys have the dream one shot, and she gets stung.
I get stung.
Yeah. And that's what I was saying. It was very important for me because Sue's presence in Said's consciousness there is what's keeping the initial like control of Argath to begin popping up, and sort of like this demon of lies and truth, as they are sort of like two sides of the same coin. He sort of begins wrestling control into Said's brain and into your brains a little bit. In fact, there are a few perception checks of things that you did in the world that are altered because Argath is present in your party, and he lies to you and lies through your vision. So there are things that are that you saw change, things that weren't exactly bad but you saw as bad, things that weren't exactly good but you saw as good, because he was changing your perception.
Like what?
For example, Said spots the two guys in Tula, right? You guys remember the two brothers, the Yamato brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Said spots them there, and her true sight ability does not have enough range for them to see it. Argath showed it to her, and in fact Argath reversed the perspective. So the guy that you thought was the dark brother,
It was good?
he was a good guy. The guy that you thought was the good brother, he was a bad guy. So their perception.
Yin Yang.
I kind of got that idea. That
Your perception
the
is
dark
reversed.
side was better, but that's very interesting.
Yeah, your perception is reversed because of Argath's presence there. If you had approached them without Argath, things would have been different.
But
So
for example,
yeah.
I was the only one seeing it, even though they could judge for themselves too.
no, but Argath's influence hits everyone in the party.
Oh.
He's a
guys.
millennia old demon, and you guys are some random dudes walking in Ionia.
Yep. Not anymore.
Is he older than Fiddlesticks?
I didn't specifically like put him in comparison to either Fiddlesticks or Evelyn or stuff like that. I would consider him to be older. Yeah, I didn't put him
Holy
like
shit.
exactly, but he was one of the creatures that was at the primordial times of creation of Runeterra.
Okay.
Argath was one of them.
By the way, one quick off question: would you ever thought of introducing the void or not yet?
the void was introduced.
We
Was?
got in the room.
The
yeah.
void was introduced in one of Eclipse's
Parallel
dreams,
rooms too.
and it was introduced in
was there.
the parallel rooms, and it was introduced in the way LeBlanc killed Brighto's mom and made it look like there were tentacles coming out of the spear that killed her. The void was introduced a few times. The void, in fact, is, and we'll talk about it, one of the most important things in the overarching sort of plot of Rune. And it was definitely there, it was definitely present. I know that it's you and you wouldn't notice anyway, even if I literally told you. But
I mean, you're coming at us with subplots, and our perceptions were different because of this and that.
We were trying to survive.
It's our first time playing the fucking game, and this dude is
We
with
almost died.
this.
And now
This
we're
happened. Your
dead.
perception. It's all a lie.
yeah.
I feel like this is
It was
fucking.
so dark. It was so
This
dark.
shouldn't be Rune. This should be the true Rune Man
Darkness.
show.
I did this.
I'm feeling like fucking Jim Carrey here.
I did this because of, in fact, like perception and interpretation of things always was a theme in Rune, and especially now towards the end, as you were more in contact with Carob cells, the more that came into perspective. It has always been something that was a theme here, because I noticed in the start especially, and I started being more obvious with what I was saying, because I noticed in the start you guys were very focused on being a hero, because that's what everyone wants to do in D&D. They want to be a hero, and I wanted to break you as you were doing that. I wanted to make you suffer from it.
You break this so much that we lost it.
We died. I don't even notice we died.
Yeah. I wanted to break you, but I wanted to break your feelings as well. You know.
You
yeah,
did,
you broke our
did.
feelings. They're broken, shattered, because we
Yeah.
died.
Yeah. Before that, okay. Before that, I already wanted to
Okay,
break
by the
you.
way, before we
Still
keep
dies.
moving on, let
Yeah.
me just take some of the questions out.
Go ahead.
Why Ionia and not other place?
Okay, 2 reasons. Reason number 1, Iona is my favorite region in League. Actually, 3 reasons. 3 reasons. It's my favorite region in League of Legends. Number 2, it is smaller, which makes it easier for me to explain places and for you guys to travel without having to worry. And I feel like for the first time you were playing, it would be good that you only took like, I don't know, like 2 or 3 weeks to get to some place instead of like a month or more if you don't have teleports. And then third, because we have a Vastaya in our group that wanted to be friends with Ari, so you know,
Sorry.
it just had to happen.
Okay, so now a follow-up. If knowing what you know now, like what our group was and everything, if you could redo something, would you start another region or do anything differently?
Yes, I would.
You said to me that to prepare questions. I did.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
I have 16 questions, dude.
All right.
No,
I'll take that. I would have 100% do it differently. I would have started this in a region in Valoran, be it in Demacia or Noxus or the Freljord, wherever, and I would make the main villain Viego.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because Viego was already one of my favorite characters in League lore. When I laid eyes upon him, it was completely different from what I thought he was going to be. But when I saw big sword, white hair,
Yeah.
I just, I really liked that, and I would have made him the main villain, and I would have made, in fact, the everything from the Shadow Wilds, the Ruination was present in the Rune lore, and it was going to take part at some point. No. It was going to take part at some point, but we didn't get to that. So I was going to include this somewhere, but I was not sure where yet. I had it prepared though. It was gonna be kind of sick for me to play Viego.
Yeah.
But you know,
You can still, you know.
because Viego, in my initial notes for Viego, after the champion's release, if Viego brought you to 0 and you were unconscious, you were immediately dead, and he would take control of your body. And I felt like that would be like a really cool high stakes fight to happen, you know, where you guys have to figure out ways using Death Ward or using whatever that you were not brought to 0 ever, or he would, if in range, he would take control of you. And that was kind of like, it was something I wanted to do, but never really got the chance to do it. But yeah, definitely.
Still.
Doomral though was okay, dude. Doomral was sort of a few levels under Viego in terms of difficulty of encounter. So Viego was going to be a tough fight in my eyes, but not the toughest fight in Rune. That would be someone we'll talk about. So you guys go to Aiko, you come back. There's a ship situation where you guys lose a bunch of items and information. Let's talk about that. You guys remember why this happened, right?
Yep.
The what?
The ship situation.
Why we lost the bunch of money.
And not money, you lost the tooth,
money,
you lost documents.
Lost the
Oh,
tooth,
yeah. I wanted to ask
information.
about that. Yeah. Sorry. That was on me.
Okay, yes, exactly. That was on you. And I will tell you what was in the ship. Nothing.
Yeah.
There was nothing in the ship. The part under the ship was used to transport Ophel's spies. Ophel being the guy at the Sleepy Willow that you guys killed, the wolf of Vastai Shirei. He in the bow of the ship, he would transport his spies across all of the islands safely without anyone noticing. But at that time, there was none there. And you guys get into that, and since it's like super dangerous for Ophel that this is happening, right? He obviously, Masamu and Musama and all of the twins that wanted to fuck Torbjorn in the ass, they are powerful wizards and they stop you from doing that, and they remove stuff from you. Obviously they had an order not to kill you by Ophel himself, as you guys were playing a part in his plans by destroying the Brotherhood. So yeah, you guys got shit on for nothing. That was what happened.
Part of the story.
And you know what the funny thing is? That piece of information that you got was very important. One of those pieces of information was very important. It had to be in your possession.
We discussed this already. I'm so sorry.
It had to be in your possession. I will tell you why this is an important piece of information right now. So, you guys remember that later on, you meet Talon, right? Yeah. You fight Talon. Talon was looking for something that that Ophel said that you guys didn't have all of the information. Ophel had all of the information. Ophel knew how to break the cipher, and that cipher specifically would lead you to the location of General Dooku To, which was Talon's adoptive father and the best spy and assassin in Noxus. Now, the best spy and assassin in Noxus was working against Noxus. If Talon and Dooku To are reunited, Noxus's presence in Ionia will be eliminated in 1 month or 1 month and a half time, was what I wrote down. Because they will kill the Noxian leaders inside of that region. After that, they would go after Cassiopeia, which is an ascended creature at that time. They would kill Cassiopeia, causing another imbalance that would have to be solved. But still,
why would they kill Cassiopeia?
Because Cassiopeia is Dooku To's daughter.
Oh.
Yeah. So they were going to kill her because she's an aberration and works for the Black Rose. So they were going to help you guys eliminate Noxus. Talon was actually not a bad guy. He ended up with his head ripped off by Vongoth.
Yep, sorry.
But he was not a bad guy. So if you guys had that piece of information, you would know, and he would talk to you in any circumstance about it. But that actually then that it was very important that happened, because it was a complete accident, but that foiled a plan of Yev's completely. Like, it completely destroyed one of the Order of the Shadows, the leader. It completely destroyed one of his plans. But we'll get to that.
Oh my god.
But yeah, that was the information you got in that boat. It was super valuable for you guys. But yeah, then you guys move up, go on to Pubo.
Was Akali, right? It was really Akali?
No, that was not Akali.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you. So it was LeBlanc?
It was LeBlanc.
There you go. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
we were right.
out of the boat.
That was
Yeah,
LeBlanc.
we were right.
Yeah.
So either way, you guys went to Pubo. You find the corrupted Vastaya there, along with Iskalar, the patrols, and all of that. And you have the Freljordians fighting. The people from the Freljord, they're fighting, helping you guys fight back at Iskalar. You find out you end up beating Iskalar and finding out his secret room. And in there, you guys had an item that was a book that you guys didn't take.
Yep.
That was one of Dust's books.
Yep.
That book, along with the
Bracelet.
belt, the bracelet, and the ring. You had a belt as well that you guys never uncovered. That belt, it's funny because that belt would allow you to cast knock on doors pretty much, which means you would be able to open doors. However, if you failed, the belt would sort of unbutton itself and drop your pants, as well as anybody's pants within 20 feet of you. But you guys never got to find that.
That's hilarious! Where was that?
The book was in the place.
The belt.
The belt.
I
The
saw
belt.
the book. I didn't take it.
Yeah. The belt was. It was necessary for you guys to call on statue number 3 again. If you guys did not call on her,
He gave you the bracelet, so.
if you guys did not call on statue number 3, if you had the sword, if you had the sword that was up on the two brothers, Yamato brothers' shop, that was
yeah, we
Dust's
could take
Paragon. If you had that sword, it would point you to the direction of the belt. That sword was possible of getting. You had to steal it from them.
Yeah, I figured that out.
You had to steal it from them. It was
How the
all
fuck
you need to
do.
do.
Steal from them.
I don't know. You figured that out. It's not up to me. That's up to you players.
You want some water?
Yes, water. We'll talk about what that does. The sword, but the sword is an exalted item. It will ascend in time, and it will give you insane powers. One of them being turning into an ascended from Shurima. So as you guys got closer to level 20, that sword would have leveled up, and whoever was wielding that sword was probably gonna have an easier time in the final boss. The sword was ridiculously strong on purpose, because you guys had to come out with a strategy for stealing it.
But they were good guys. I didn't want to steal them.
Man, sometimes you gotta make a decision, you know. But sword would have been great with Doomerall, I'll be honest. Anyway.
Oh my god.
You guys went to Pubo. Iskalar is killed there, and that's an important thing. Why is it an important thing? Because then I feel like now is a good time for me to sort of reveal the Order of the Shadows' plot and how you guys fucked everything up. And then we'll move on to your questions.
In a good way or in a bad way?
You fucked it up in a good way. So,
Okay.
the Order of the
At least we did
Shadows.
something.
The Order of the Shadows is the objective that they had was to draw out the council. So why is this? Karma was not doing anything. Indra was at the Harana temple. Juxia was wherever he was. Shen was out killing Jin, or trying to kill Jin. So the council was not moving in any way. And they were all split, and the Order of the Shadows wanted to gather them in one place. Or wanted to make them expose themselves so that they could kill them or do something to them. And so that's how the Brotherhood begins. The Order of Shadows exerts control over the Brotherhood through Ainil. Ainil, who is LeBlanc, or one of LeBlanc's personalities or alter egos, is also a member of the Council of the Shadows as the Keeper of Masks, who controls a bunch of assassins that you fought that had those porcelain masks. So that's how she is there, sort of making this connection. Ainil is, or the character Ainil. So they controlled the Brotherhood, and they were using the Brotherhood as a way to challenge the Council into movement, right? Because if it was the Order of the Shadows, it would have been too obvious. So they're using the Brotherhood as a way to challenge, like they're gathering armies, making all of these things, and most importantly, forcing heroes to appear. So you guys show up, fixing this Brotherhood situation. You guys are obviously going to receive a reward. And guess what? A council happens, and they're all gathered in the same place. Now, after this first council, when everyone splits and goes into a specific plan, somebody took a shit in your bed, by the way.
It's not a shit.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a piece of poop.
Poop? Nah, that's not poop.
That's not poop. Okay, you're looking.
Sure
You're looking
poop.
at it from pretty far away, man. Are you sure?
It's not.
Does it smell?
Nope.
Okay, go check it out. Wait, I need to know this now.
You're invested
Let me
in
see.
the story
Let's
now.
roll a nature check for poop. Oh, he
You
grabbed it.
picked it up. It's food. It's food.
It's not poop.
Okay, it wasn't poop. Okay, got it. Give it a lick. See
What
if it
is
is.
it though?
Got it. Okay.
Nope. It doesn't taste like poop.
Okay. Yeah.
Not sure what this is, but sure.
Anyway, where was I? Before the poop? Oh yeah, I remember. So, what happens now is, you guys remember when Karma was acting all weird?
Yeah.
That wasn't Karma. That was a replacement from the Order of the Shadows, because all of the council was captured by the Order of the Shadows and by Yuv, and were being held prisoner at the Kinku Order. So all of the council except Shen. So, and they were using
How are we supposed to know that?
by going there.
You made us not go there because we wanted to get all the spears, and you went like, hey, if you guys think any longer, Dumrol is gonna make it rougher.
It's right. It's right.
I'm sorry.
asshole.
That's not true. You guys can make any decision you want. Doomral was
You asshole.
Doomral was
Yeah,
sitting
it
there.
was though.
You
Doomral was
asshole.
sitting there. You
We are
Asshole.
He's influenced by the. You gotta move. You gotta make decisions.
You
Time's
do. That would be a
up.
decision. Going there would be a decision. I'll be honest. If I were you, in the situation you were in, and you guys being you guys, I would have gone to the Kinku Order to grab the Paranoia Spear, not the Harana one. The Harana one, by the way, blocks the dragon's spellcasting.
No.
But that one would stop the Paranoia. I would grab the Paranoia Spear, and then go kill Doomral. And I can reveal this right now. What was going to happen was, when you guys went to that place, to the Kinku monastery, Yuv was going to offer you a deal. Yuv did not want to fight you because he believed thoroughly that since you guys had been fucking up his plans for so long, you could beat him. Maybe you couldn't, but he thought that you could. And so he was going to offer you a deal. He was going to give you the spear if you let him leave. And he was going to tell Doomral where to go to for you guys to fight him. And while you guys fought, he would make his escape. If at that moment you didn't believe him and you struck at him, he would snap his fingers, and one of the Quinlons with Karma's body in it would show up, and she would die on the spot because you guys struck at him. And then if you kept going, he would keep killing council members. Because he had them all imprisoned. In fact, Pubo, Master Indra was in Pubo meditating to purify the ground. While he was doing that, the Order of the Shadows moved on Pubo and began contaminating the place again and began corrupting Indra for him to be captured. Pubo was completely destroyed because everyone in the city was in control of the Order of the Shadows, and so Corno went there and blew the whole place down. And so everyone in Pubo is dead right now. Pubo does no longer exist. There's a giant crater there. So that was because
You have done anything?
you could, yeah. You could have not agreed with Indra going to Pubo alone, for example, and you could have agreed to control Pubo yourselves,
Yeah, we had that chance.
which you said no. So if you said no, that would not have happened.
But
So
if
there
you
you go.
said yes, we had to be there.
if you said no, you wouldn't have to be there. But you would have gone there during the time when this happens, so you would have seen the Order of the Shadows moving potentially, and you would have suffered the attacks because you would be in constant communication with people there because it was your place to rule, right? So
was I really a beyond saving?
no. You guys, one of the strategies for you guys to beat Doomral, there's a few. One of the strategies is having your assassin, your rogue, move through the city stealth to look at Irelia, see her state, all of that, along with Zed's help and stuff. It is possible for you guys to poison her without Doomral noticing. It is possible for you guys to poison her and either dominate person or convince her to fight by your side. That was definitely one of the strategies you guys could have gone for. And if she fights by your side, so does the entire army. That might trigger a response from the creature army of the Paranoia that was hanging about the city, but it is still possible for her to fight by your side. So Irelia was not beyond saving. She was not corrupted. She was doing this of her own will.
Yeah.
But either way,
that clears like 2 or 3 questions.
either way, there's this plan where he manages to capture them finally, and so he's like, okay, I've got them all. I need to give like a justified reason for war now. This was Yev's plan. I've got everyone, all of the council with me.
Shen too?
No, Shen was not controlled. This is why. Because he was not there. So, he needs to find something that will trigger the war. So what does he do? He finds 2 people that are very interested in doing that, Akali and Irelia. And what he does with them is he makes a deal. He says, Irelia, I will give you an army in X amount of time, as he was moving Vogue to begin the ritual for Doomra. I will give you an army in X amount of time, but you have to begin the war now, so we need an event that begins the war. And Irelia doesn't know what to do. Akali is not there during this meeting. She was already recruited for them. No, not dead. And so Yev comes up with a plan. What if the Fist of Shadow, one of Ionia's protectors, dies to a Noxian hand? Would that not move the country? Most likely it would. It would make Shen pissed. Shen would go after them. All right, so in comes the plan where Akali is put in a bad circumstance to tackle Vongoth. They know that Vongoth is there. Vongoth is famous in Ionia, and they know that he is there, and he is there to collect the information about Dukuto because he wants Dukuto to disappear and not go for Cassio and cause the imbalance. So he's there to steal the information from Talon to avoid them from meeting. So he's walking about looking at you guys. Vongoth, by the way, is a normal human that transforms into that Kila. You guys never found that out, but he transforms that Kila. Hence, when he walked into the city, you could feel him, and then you could smell him, then you stopped smelling him. It's because he can switch back and forth. And he's walking among the forest, trying to look for Talon. Talon is eluding him, and he finds Akali and a bunch of dudes from the Order of the Shadows with a Noxian spear. What was the plan? Vongoth is gonna fight them. There's gonna be a Noxian spear stuck in Akali's head. Shen is going to find the scene. He's going to know that this is, this was a Noxian plan. He's gonna get pissed and he's gonna start fighting Noxus. Well, due to you guys fucking up, Talon was watching that and Talon told you about the scene. So you guys found it and you immediately discovered it was Vongoth. It was not Noxus. So you told that to Shen. And so since Shen now knows it wasn't Noxus, the war doesn't begin. So accidentally, you fucked up Yev's plan
Again.
of starting a war. But you still did it, which is pretty good.
My God.
But yeah, that was like a complete accident. But that was his general plan, pretty much, was to now start a war. That doesn't work. Vogue is moving into the secret sort of city, underground city of Yiling, where you guys found all of those items and all of that stuff. And that's where kind of the catastrophe happens, right?
Okay, what would happen if Dumbral wasn't
Overall.
If Doomral
Overall, please.
if Doomral, he didn't seem very dumb last session, bro. if Doomral is not released, you guys fight Mindpiercer Vogue, and there is only one Council of the Shadows member left for you guys to defeat. You can defeat him or not. And now the only leverage he has now are the Council. It's the only thing he has, so he's less likely to leave. You guys never really asked yourselves why Doomral was just sitting there. Why would the dragon not just run over everyone in Noxus and it was sitting in Ionia City? It was because of you guys. He was the deterrent. He was what was supposed to drive your attention away from Yov. He didn't want you guys to be with him and to go after him. So he was there to stop you from it. That was why the dragon was sitting, because it makes no sense if you think about it. Ultimate weapon of mass destruction to be sitting in the city there, just waiting. He is waiting because of you guys, because
he knows you would come to him.
Exactly. So he has one of the spears. It's logical that you guys might go to him. So he's just making it stay there as a deterrent. And the burned city was bait. It was never Yov's intention of destroying Ionia, but he needed you guys to believe it was, so that you would be afraid of going into him. And you guys fell for it. Because that was actually one of the points you guys were mentioning, like, oh my god, but he burned the city, he wants to destroy everything, so we gotta go kill him now. Never the plan. He just did that, a small sacrifice for a greater good for him, was what he made there. The people that died in that, he was sad about it, but it is what it is.
He's a little bitch.
No, he's smart.
No, he's a little bitch.
He's fight us. He's the master behind all of this, so he's got to be some sort of smart, right?
He's a little bitch. I bet he's bald too.
No, he's not. He's actually modeled. Both the character, the way he behaves, is modeled after Sauron.
Oh.
So yeah, he's not bald. He has white hair as well. I like white hair, guys. I'm sorry. It's just the thing.
You like hair?
Sure.
People like what they miss. It's okay.
That's why you like dick so much. Anyway.
Do I though?
I don't know, man. You sure ate a lot of dick last fight. Anyway.
True. You speak the truth.
Anyways, now I feel, now that we've gotten somewhere with the story and we know about the stuff, and Argath was already a reality, I think it is interesting to take Argath's question. This question's for you. What would it take for you to give more control or give in more into Argath?
Him talking more, I guess. Just because the whole context of the Sades and Argath's relationship was based on lies, because it was him telling Vasayar this and her knowing another reality, and then just the fighting, and then suddenly Ionia, and he's still a demon, and there was nothing else shared. So yeah, I think he was also pretty open. I'm not sure if it was only off stream that we talked about the wanting to destroy everything.
No,
so
he was never open about that with you. Yeah, that was at the end. When you guys asked what would happen.
That's the only feeling. The small interactions that he had were always very to himself and wanting to do his things, and give me power and I'll help you. But he want power, not gonna answer, you know, kind of those things. And also like the reactions, the most recent one with Lady Zuns.
Mm-hmm.
When
that's where he is now.
Have fun. With like the she's mine, you know, kind of, yeah, the controlling type. So he never revealed much. So I think it was just him to be more open in what he wanted to do and understand the relationship. Like, you're literally living here, so can we check the terms, see what's
terms of service
for us, you know?
From the way you were playing, it gave more
I
of
just
the
didn't
sense.
trust him.
Yeah, it gave more of the sense that you would give him more power if the situation requested it.
Yeah, that was
Not
the
a
thing. I
free
wasn't
will.
choosing. I wasn't choosing to use him. Just I can use him. I'm gonna use because I didn't knew anything. I didn't knew consequences. So she wasn't just.
Yeah. Yeah, you would have gotten some pretty cool powers from Argath, but Argath is in the end a manipulative demon, so you guys have to act according to that. Now, he would never reveal anything or reveal his true plan unless you started giving into what he wanted, you know, unless you started gathering more people, poisoning more people so that he would gather a force. He was manipulative, he would lie. He would change your vision of the world. He would do anything to achieve his goal because he is in fact a demon. Now, is that like ultimately bad? Well, not really if you know how to use him. Because this requires the introduction of Argath to you was my way of you not having a super OP powerful thing that you could call and it would give you the answer to everything. That was Brighto's staff. What Argath was supposed to do was advanced markers. This is the answer to it. What Argath was supposed to do was give you an opportunity to manipulate me into believing that you really wanted to go through his stuff, and then in the end, you betray Argath and you do something to stop him. This was sort of like my logic with it was, okay, you know, she knows he's a demon.
That's very impossible though.
He's a demon. It's not.
Because of the full control that he has.
It's not impossible.
Especially with the thing with the. First of all, I can't do anything without him knowing, and then there's the related with the spell for the.
Yeah, but Argath is not reading your mind at all times. The moments that Argath has super like contact with you is when you reach out to him. Otherwise, he's distracted with other stuff. In some fights, he's focused with you to lend you his power as you take on Empress form. But in others, and hence me giving you the thing of him not being there, of you reaching out and him not answering and stuff like that, he was not at all always there. And so the way for you to manipulate me, the DM, and manipulate Argath is to giving into his stuff. You give into his stuff, and at the last moment, without telling anyone, you know, you can betray him. He would never mistrust you if you were feeding him. You know, demons are creatures of ego and of thirst for power. If you're feeding him the power that he wants, that's all he's gonna look at, right? And by focusing him on that, that's how you can manipulate him back. So I put Argath into you. I gave you Argath as a chance, sort of an opportunity for you to engage in Sade's more manipulative side or manipulative possibilities, let's say. But it ended up being just working just like Ninetales. It's literally a Jinchuriki, and or a Bijou, and you guys.
It was Sade's personal Google.
Yeah, and I feel like it's also like I understand, but I feel like that would be so complex to carry on, especially because all the things related, again, the poisoning mind and stuff. Still very reluctant, and again, the first time we do it, that's his reaction. It's instantly like red flags.
Dude,
what is happening? Because I have no idea.
Exactly. I know if it was Eclipse with Argath, there would be 100 people, dude. 100 people would be poisoned. Yeah. You have an army on your side.
I don't understand though. The thing is, actually, before the dragon fight, but you skipped 3 hours for some reason. I actually wanted to, because of that thing that happened when we jumped off in the other town. Because you mentioned that water was turning. I just wanted to find a river and just go like, have fun, and then see what happened.
It would not work. It didn't work on the town. It didn't work on the town. And you guys put it. You put the thing there. It's such a large body of water that it kind of, and it's flowing out into the sea. It kind of just went out into the sea. It's going to eventually dissolve itself. And there's probably like a few fish that are under your command now.
Oh yeah.
But you know, it was very hard for you to have done that or to have made that work. Either way.
Yeah, but I would try.
So let's you guys, you know, Born has already asked questions. What about the rest of you guys? Brighter, do you have any question about the whole thing that you want to ask? Anything really?
The one that I have on my mind is what would happen if I unlocked all the
screeches?
Soraka places. Yeah.
Oh, the Soraka places. Okay.
Yeah, because that was the only thing that Brighto had in mind.
Unlocking each of those places is going to give a boost to the order side of things. It is going to give a boost towards the Celestials. So what you would be doing is you would be increasing the Celestials' power in the world, and by doing so, causing an increased response by the Void, which in doing so would bring the ending of Rune sooner. So the more shrines you would have unlocked for Soraka, the sooner Rune would end.
Oh shit.
What?
Yeah. That's what would happen. I'll reveal the whole dynamic in a bit. Let's just go through everyone. Do you have any question, Eclipse?
Yeah. They're more personal, but are my parents still alive? And if so, did they look for me?
Mm-mm. Your parents are not alive because they ascended and are, in fact, a constellation in the sky. Your parents being Lunari and Solari, they were together. You know, they banged. Out comes you. And then later on, they ascended through Mount Targon out into the constellations, and they are one of the aspects right now, which is one of the last powers you would get as you would close in on level 20. Would be around, I don't know, I have it noticed somewhere. It would be around like between level 14 and 16. You would get powers related to this duality of Lunari and Solari, where you can combine both of them into more powerful spells. And into spells that have the both versions, sort of like for example, your Crescent Bolt and Zenith Blade would have a combo version of each, and if you threw it directly, it would deal extra damage and immediately teleport you towards the target. For example, your Moonfall and Solar Flare, it would not stun but paralyze instead and deal increased damage. And then there was a feat about you calling, if you would fight while the constellation was out, which you could do with the help of Brighto, your stats would go like nuts. You would get a +5 to intelligence. You would get like a bunch of like ridiculous bonuses to your attack and to your spell save. It would make you a really hardcore killing machine, pretty much, whenever the constellation was out. In fact, the goal was to make all of you that. As we got deeper into the story, all of you were going to be that. Torbjorn through his incarnation, you through that, Brighton through his celestial blood and contact with the kindred, and Sade through Argath. You were all supposed to like reach like superhero status in the final battle. And Brighto even has a spell where he has his astral aspect that was going to get buffed up with levels. And it was going to be one of his final abilities that he could use when cast like at a super high level. It would be super duper broken. But yeah, any other questions, Eclipse or Estera? Sorry, Eclipse is dead.
Yeah. What about in the event of an eclipse?
Oh, curious that you talk about that. In the event of an eclipse or an eclipse, not eclipse. That's you. What would happen? It depends on when it happens. If it happens late, which I had one planned for the section after Doomral, so I guess it wouldn't be late. In the event of an eclipse, you would be paralyzed for a bunch of time. For as long as the eclipse was in the sky. If the eclipse was in the sky and you looked at it, you'd be paralyzed for 1 hour.
Why?
Because the conflict within you would increase and you had not solved it yet. And so it would paralyze you for 1 hour. That's what would happen. When you solve the conflict with Brighto's help, and with the star stuff and with Soraka, as long as you find out about everything, when the conflict is solved, you gain similar buffs to the one of the constellation, but it's a weaker version. Instead of like +5, it's +2. And the combo spells, they don't combo. You can choose whichever one you want. You can choose if you want sun or moon, but you can't combo. But yeah, that was it. Just a quick answer to a question in chat. Will the party get out of Ionia at some point? Yes, right after this, they were going to the Freljord, where the next section of the story that would be dedicated to the end would take part. Before that, if Noxus was still standing, they would go through in Ionia. They would go through a Noxian region of Ionia, so they'd pretty much be in Noxus, and then they'd go into the Freljord, where the final section would happen, because that is where one of the Watchers, one of the rifts into the void, is frozen in the Howling Abyss. And there's someone there, Lysandra, which Thorbjorn was meant to kill, that is trying to get Iceborne people to reseal that so that the void doesn't come out. And Thorbjorn was gonna go kill her and stop her from doing that. Tell me I'm not a genius.
You're just mean to us. Our stories are just, oh, you gotta affect that the world.
Well, that's another question asked.
There you go.
Yeah,
There you
go. No, the campaign ended, sir, in chat. The campaign ended, they died. So we're talking about everything. So,
Yes.
We died.
Sade, do you have any questions that you want to ask? Right
Yeah, I think most of them were already answered. You did answer about my parents the other day, but similar to what Eclipse said, were they even looking for me? What was the thing?
They were not looking for you.
Of course.
Your parents are an Uvicat guy called Quino. He is from Nico's race, and your mother was a Vulpine Vastaya. Now, why did this happen? You're asking, Sade. Because there are no Vulpine Vastayas with two tails, and you wanted two tails that were shining and had pastel colors and shit. And I'm like, dude, how the fuck do I make that happen? And so I got reminded of that. I could like cross two of them, and so I played God, and I crossed an Uvicat with a Vulpine and created your race. And that's why you had access to powers from both of them. Your disguise self is Nico's ability to turn
X disguise self.
the one I lost.
The one you lost when you made your deal with Argath.
Oh, that's so cute. I never noticed.
Wait,
But
1 second.
I thought it was the daughter of the other.
She was your mother was the daughter of
It was okay.
yeah,
Okay.
the 100% of Volpo.
I thought
Your dad was from the UV Cat. Quino was from UV Cat.
Yeah.
Quino and your mother were being hunted by Iskalar because they were the only Vastaya that had ever did it from like cross race and produced a child. You were the only child to have ever happened. You were pretty much the Jesus Christ of the Vastaya.
And I'm dead.
Yeah, exactly. And he was hunting them, and he failed in hunting them.
But that's the thing. If it is that was the context of the thing, they weren't even looking for me. Like
no, they were not. They were not looking for you. No, they're not looking for you because they were told by a certain someone, Karab Cells, that you would be safe in the Placidium. And so they left you there.
Oh, so it was like a trade.
Exactly. They left you there and fucked off into Ixtal, which is where they are. And Ixtal is Kiana's place. It is in the other continent, in Valorant.
Okay.
Speaking of Ixtal, you guys met an Ixtali, Indigo.
Yeah.
Yes. She is Lady Zun's sister.
Oh.
What?
She is Lady Zun's sister, Indigo, yeah. In fact, Lady Zun is not her real name. Yeah.
What's her real name then?
Her real name is Azur. They are
Like
Indigo
Blue.
and Azure Cyana. These
Yeah.
are their names.
Very
and
creative, I see.
and so they were sisters, and the things that Lady Zune was talking about, why she didn't want to die, why she had stuff to do, it was exactly look for Indigo.
What?
Lady Zune was looking for her sister again because she has no idea where she is. She knows she had been in Ionia, but she doesn't know where she is. So that's that. They were sisters, yeah. Any more questions, Sid?
Yeah, but I don't know if you're gonna answer after. It was just the context of if one of us at least escaped.
Yeah. Okay. One, it would be very, very hard for you to revive everyone.
Yeah.
But if there was one player that escaped and that was alive, I would be willing to give all of the others characters that you would recruit, weaker versions, of course, to attempt to rescue your party. Thing is, Brighto, beyond rescue.
Yep.
As soon as Brighto is taken by Doomral,
Yep.
it's over. So Brighto is beyond rescue. However, the bodies of Eclipse and Torbjorn, although destroyed almost, maybe with a few good rolls, then yeah, wait. One situation. Gargamon, no, I'm not running any published thing. I made the whole campaign homebrew with homebrew classes, homebrew weapons, homebrew items, homebrew monsters.
Yes.
And they all died to one of the monsters that I created,
Yes.
which is a shadow dragon called Doomral. So yeah, that's what happened. There was a TPK. Anyway, continuing that. So in a way, what you guys would have done, like the Doomral fight is a tough thing for us to like analyze. For us to analyze from like your perspective in a sense, I guess, because you guys don't work the same way that I do. But the fight is possible in multiple ways, right? There is just one scenario that is where it's not possible to beat him, and that's if Brighto is the victim of the one shot. If Brighto is the one dying first, there is no way to come back.
Yep.
And that's what happened.
I wonder what happened.
And that was
bad rolls all
that was the
over
position.
the place.
No, it wasn't. It was the positioning.
It was the positioning and his bad rolls for resisting the walking forward.
Yeah. If Eclipse switches positions with Brighto, it's a different situation. Eclipse is necrotic resistance and has death ward. Brighto is alive and can heal him, and you have a free natural 20 to stick the spear that stops the breath. That's how you.
I knew where it was coming from.
I forgot about
could
the
have
boots.
positioned it.
That's how you win that fight in an easier way. It's still hard because you don't have paranoia spear, but that's how you win that fight. That's the easiest way of doing it. That's why I said, if you guys beat this fight very easily, you're like D&D geniuses, because you had figured out what I have figured out. You know, when I looked at all that you could have, and when I heard that Brighto had death ward, I thought, fuck, they're onto me. They know what to do. Whoever has death ward and the necrotic resistance ring tanks the first hit or the first breath, and then you guys walk in and do whatever it is. But you all the weird shit. I don't know. You're all like positioned in weird places. I don't know, man.
I think it was a mix of we haven't played for like a long period of times.
True.
And we forgot half of our shit.
Mm-hmm.
I completely forgot that my spear, whenever he killed, I got back 10 HP. Brighto forgot his rerolls. Eclipse forgot, I think, the necklace or something, or some ring. I don't know who had it.
The ring of necrotic resistance was not forgotten. It was just this was literally positioning. It was just that one mistake and that's why I told you and Brighto, or you and Paderborn, told you at the start, dragon is coming from the top of the map. Told you at the start.
Yeah.
Because if it's not Brighto and Eclipse, I mean if it's not you, Torbjorn, and Eclipse at the front of the fight, during that, because the dragon responded to the book. Eclipse has the book, right? If it's not both of them at the start of the fight, at the front of the fight, it's fucked. It's screwed.
How far were we from the dragon at the start of the positioning?
At the start of the positioning, the fight was happening. The dragon can teleport in the paranoia. The dragon can teleport up to a mile when it is within the paranoia. So it can travel from places to places. You guys were a little bit a little bit more than a mile away. That's why he started like flying, and then he vanished and teleported in front.
One of the things that got me by surprise was how fast he came to us.
Yeah, as long as he is within shadow of the shadow of the paranoia, he can teleport in between and vanish into the shadow realm. You saw him do this in the first time you saw him. And hence why I spent a month and a half saying, remember everything you saw from Doomral. Think about everything you saw from Doomral. And he was within the shadow, he vanishes, and suddenly he's outside and destroying everything. So some shit happened. So yeah, that was the important thing. He was more than a mile away from you, hence he started flying and then teleported. He's also super fast while he's within the paranoia. His stats are buffed while he's in the paranoia, and the longer he spends sitting under his own shadow, the more hit points he gets. So it becomes more of a problem of like you guys sustaining yourselves during the fight, but not so much of like a mechanical problem. It's just he has more hit points, so you just need to deal more damage. But that was like the main thing of him staying under, and the teleportation plus the stealth is pretty crucial there. And hence you've like the guy from the Castle of Shadows was like, sure, you guys were going to show up there because you're not gonna fight him in his own like environment, right? You're not gonna find him in his own habitat. You guys are like heroes. You foiled his plans. He doesn't know if it was accidentally. He thinks you guys are great. You killed Vogue. Vogue is supposed to be this super smart guy that rivals him. Like, my man is out here respecting you guys, you know?
And we just
that was definitely part of it. But yeah. If one of you, answering the question, if one of you survives, there is a possibility. I would allow something like that to happen if you like all cried a lot or something. But it would be super hard still for you guys to do it. Doomral is, I told you, a really tough fight, especially only with 2 spears. Possible, but it's a tough fight. Any other questions, Sabe?
I think so.
Okay. Torbjorn?
Okay, I do have a few.
Let's go. Bomb me, brother. Tell me.
Okay, do you remember that we read or you gave us a poem about Mount Targon? About a weapon there?
It was not Mount Targon. It was the mount at the center of Ionia. The weapon up there is the Storm Razor, which was carried by Adadal, who got it before you guys ever figured out what was happening.
Okay, that's one question. Go on.
Yeah, the Storm Razor, the more you walked with it, the more you moved with it, it would charge up. And as soon as it's charged, next attack is a crit.
Okay.
It's a scimitar, or a katana, considered a scimitar.
I'm gonna ask a question about Brido.
Go ahead.
What was the role of Brito's dad and Olaf?
Oh yeah.
Oh, so Brito's daddy, that's me. No, but Brito's daddy had no role right now. Olaf was assigned as a bodyguard to him, but Brito's dad had no role to play at this moment.
Yeah, but why would Olaf himself guard Brito's dad?
Because Olaf was hanging out in Bilgewater, and they kind of like hit it off and became friends. And so Olaf kind of started traveling with him. Olaf is the opposite of Brito's dad. Brito's dad is a huge nerd, and Olaf is a big guy that wants to fight all the time. So Olaf was in Bilgewater at the time. And because this is actually part of League's lore, Olaf does go to Bilgewater, and he meets Brito's dad, and they kind of hit it off. And this was a way of me giving Brito away. Hey, Trash, thanks for the raid, appreciate it. Dab. welcome to the end of campaign roundtable. But yeah, as I was saying, Brido's Olaf was a way for me to get this off of Pader's head. I didn't want Pader to keep thinking, is my dad safe, is my dad not safe, is my dad safe, is my dad not safe. This way, having a big dude protecting him would maybe make Pader a little bit more at ease with the future of his dad.
I mean, you killed off Kennen, one of the most fucking strong guys.
Yep.
Kennen was
Or at least we thought.
Kennen was as strong as you guys would have been after the Doomral fight.
Huh.
Would we level up after the Doomral fight?
With 2 spears, you would level up 2 levels. The more spears you had, the more levels you would have gained. So you could have gained a total of 4 levels from Doomral fight.
We would jump from 8 to 12?
Yes, if you got all 4 spears.
Holy shit.
Shit.
What a dream.
Okay.
The fight goes harder because more time, passes, so you get the boost. But with 2 spears, this would have been 2 levels, so you would have leveled up to 10.
Okay. Was Shen going to die anyway?
No.
Did he even die?
No.
Yeah.
I did not intend for Shen to die unless you guys gave me a reason for it.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Or like, was he comatose or?
Yeah,
It's
he
very
was super tired. Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Can I pick up on that note? Did we choose well in leaving Hayden there, or it was just you can or you know?
There's no really right or wrong choices, as you know.
Yeah, but what if we didn't? You had something planned, or?
If Kane wasn't there, there was going to be someone slicing off Shen's throat. Yeah.
For real? 200%?
200%. Yep, 200%.
Who would it be?
One of Yov's assassins.
Shadow, yeah.
Yeah. And pretty easily too.
Yeah, because if
Okay. When did you made the choice to make Adadal evil?
Adadal's not evil. Adadal was already working for the other team. At the moment you guys got all the heads and you gave it to them to him, like all the 3 heads of Ari, Yasuo, and Kennen.
knew!
He already
and
knew.
It was like, oh, I'm so sad.
Yeah.
Oh, it was my master. I wonder who killed the master.
Yeah, he already knew that it was Vangoth who fucked him up pretty badly.
And then he goes and hangs with Vangoth.
Yeah. He was already on Vangoth's team before that.
Yeah, he saw it happen.
He understood the assignment. Whenever I tell you guys what's happening, you'll understand. I can say it right after you finish your question.
Okay. So I'll skip this one. I was gonna ask what will happen to the world now. Has the League of Shadows won now that we're dead, or were there any countermeasures in case we failed, or you don't know because you didn't think about it?
I thought about it. Okay. So right now, Doomral is going to be used to wipe out Noxus from Ionia. It's going to be used to wipe out Noxus out of the face of the earth. That is his objective.
Awesome.
However,
is there anyone capable to fight?
Yeah, there is going to be someone stopping that. That's going to be LeBlanc, along with the other guys from the other side who now are left to also fix your side of things. And so they are going to LeBlanc is going to finish off Doomral and probably snap Yub's neck somewhere, because this is causing a huge imbalance, and that's a huge problem for her. And so she's going to stop that. And she's going to find others. She needs to find others now. Other people that are willing to fight for her, and because her perspective on this was to build heroes. She needed to build heroes to stand with her at the moment of truth that she has known is going to be coming for like thousands of years, because LeBlanc is really old. And she needed heroes, and she started building them in Ionia with you guys. Hence why you guys were all guided there in a way. It's because she wanted to build you up into heroes to stand with her, and she kept throwing challenges at you. She was in the Order of the Shadows. She facilitated their action a bunch of times, so that you guys would keep getting thrown like shit to deal with, and she kept reminding you of your mind, where your mind needed to be. She kept reminding you that you had to stop thinking by other people's perspective and see it as your own. Do the things that you had wanted, overcome the challenges with your intentions in mind and not someone else's. It's not because it's going to hurt someone else, it's because I personally think that this is not good, or I personally think that this is not balanced, you know? So she wanted to do that, and she does that with everyone else, with the other side. She convinces them of that through the same way. As you guys are sort of like getting built up, the other side is also getting built up through challenges by her, but in a different sense. And she builds up two teams that are going to keep balance in the world to avoid a disaster. And this is where sort of the big thing about Rune comes. So there's, as you guys know, there's the Celestials and there's the Void, and they're sort of opposite identities. One represents chaos, it represents the prophecies and order, sort of a more orderly way of things, and it was the Celestials that created Runeterra. So whenever something is done in their name or in the name of good,
Wait.
Yeah.
Last one for you. Last one for you, and then I have 3 for the party.
Okay, go.
Why did the Kindred pick Thorbjorn to die?
Oh yeah, we didn't talk about that ever. Because if you had sealed Doomral and given it to that demon, that would have been a catastrophe. So, since you had been evading death for so long as well, and since you had been sort of on this strange way of violence now, and you kept like going unconscious and coming back up, and it is frustrating for Wolf for you to be in his jaws and then someone pulling you out. So that combined with the fact that the whole spirit world could have been broken by that one demon, which is Evil's character, is a sort of an Oni type of entity. If that ever happens, you guys fuck Viego, fuck everything. After that happens, you guys are going to have to grab Yone, find him somewhere, and go after that demon, because shit as you see it is going to change. Kindred, Brighto's Kindred buffs would have been gone. The Shojin, the god Shojin, would have been gone as well. That demon is someone that consumes souls and consumes things. If he consumes Doomral's energy, he is going to fuck shit up, basically. And that is a demon that does not care who you are. He will kill everyone because he just wants to consume more. So that's kind of an identity of a similar. No. That demon there represents, or which is Evil's character, represents to me something that I sort of thought Evil would like, because he loves the evil shit. And one of the most evil characters that I could think of that I really like is Galactus from Marvel, the Eater of Worlds. And so that was that type of an entity. If he is fed Doomral, he turns into that. If not, he needs to keep consuming a little bit here, a little bit there, patiently until it happens. And it lived in there because it had been trading as sort of a good shadow fiend. It had been trading with the whole Order of the Shadow Society for like hundreds of years. And it had been consuming little bits here and there, continuously trading knowledge with them until it grew super powerful. If it consumes Doomral, it's even stronger than Doomral.
But then, how could we save Torbjorn at all? Because he would either die for the demon or die for a kindred.
If Thorbjorn dies, is caught by kindred, he is brought into the spirit world, and you've got someone who is who bears kindred's powers with you that could guide you within the spirit world to go save Thorbjorn's soul.
But he would be the one killing him.
No, it would not be Brighto.
The mark.
Brighto only sees what the kindred as marked for death. It doesn't mean that he has to go after it. The kindred has marked that person for death, which means they are going to die soon. If he is the one killing that person, If he, yeah, it worked. If he is the one killing that person, he gets bonuses. If he's not the one, he doesn't get anything.
Okay,
But the person still dies.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Got
Yeah.
it.
So there you go.
I have a question.
Yeah.
'Cause I was almost forgetting, and then you going off with the
Go ahead.
the parallel world. First of
Oh.
all, how the fuck did we activate it? Second of all, what would have happened if you actually went in?
Sure.
And just chill
First
the
of all, there are a ton of alternate dimensions to Rune. That was just one of them. It's not, and it wasn't necessarily opposite. That was if Argath was out. If Argath ever reached a level where it can leave. Now, for that room, how you activated it, it was Torbjorn. Torbjorn was the only one that focused within himself and asked the room, "What do you do?" And by focusing his intentions on that, he unlocked it. It was Torbjorn by accident. Nothing happens when he does that. Nothing happens when he does that, right? And so you all are like, yeah, fuck it, you know? That's some other dumb Torbjorn shit. But it was him. It was him who unlocked it. The rooms are unlocked through your intention. Hence, Carapcel's mentioning it so many times, how your intention unlocks things. And how setting your intentions is important for you to do something. But that room actually is very important. Because there are a bunch of them that were created. And the prophecy that was in there was made by none other than Rune's very own Doctor Strange, Zillion. So Zillion is a character that I considered from the start to be Doctor Strange. And since I really love the movies, first of all, but I really love the character, the scenario you were living in was supposed to be the one scenario where the Celestials and the Void don't end up consuming themselves and ending all of existence. So Zillion set up a bunch of these rooms with that prophecy. I don't know if you guys remember that prophecy, or if any one of you has it noted. I might have it like somewhere here, but I can tell you what it is if I find it. Give me just 1 second. I have a bunch of notes here about Thorbjorn's okay, there we go. I found it. Thorbjorn's class. Your class, the one that you had at the end.
Was I close? Sorry. I'll ask later.
Okay.
Go.
So the poem was the following: within this world's great feud, there are two who stand in the middle. One known to be overwhelmingly good, the other thought to be overwhelmingly evil. One will rise and be admired, but is ultimately doomed to fail. One will be feared and undesired, but must be the one to prevail. And when reality gives out its last cry, then all will finally see. Their savior was never the blue sky. It was the pale sand beneath their feet. So, the blue sky is Rise. The pale sand is LeBlanc. Throughout his whole life, Rise has been gathering the rune stones to avoid them getting into control of bad people. He didn't want for that to happen. And so he kept getting them. And LeBlanc, knowing of this prophecy and knowing of the danger of those items, if the one person that has all of them gets corrupted, they are a world-ending entity, right? And so LeBlanc tried to stop him a bunch of times. LeBlanc tried to advise him a bunch of times to not gather them all in the same place, and Rise always said no. You witnessed one such conversation in the Placidium recently.
Yeah.
That was Rise and LeBlanc talking again about it. He was there grabbing the Stone of Inspiration, the Rune Stone of Inspiration. And as he gathers all of these things, at the end, what the prophecy says, written by Zillion, in one of the scenarios that he sees, is that he will ultimately be corrupted by the Void and will be turned into a world-ending entity. And LeBlanc, who has been seen like an evil person throughout all of her life, because all she ever wanted to do was do what she wanted, LeBlanc always wanted to break free from these other superior entities. She hates demons. She hates Celestials, she hates the void. She wants to break free from all of that and let humanity and the mortals set their own fate, set their own intentions, and leave and live their lives as they want. She has been doing that throughout her whole life, but people's perception makes her evil as the leader of the Black Rose, as someone who has lied to further her intentions, who has betrayed to further her intentions. Everyone mistrusts her and thinks she's terrifying and terrible. Noxus, the people in Noxus themselves think that, and other people that she interacted with. But throughout her whole life, as she found out about the prophecy, she knew what she had to do. She knew that she had to withstand this so that in the end, she's the one stopping disaster from happening. And so she takes it throughout her whole life. Thousands of years, because she is super old, especially here in this world. She takes shit from everyone. She betrays to kill Mordekaiser. She cheats and lies to make it up to the council to revive Sion. She continues on doing everything she can to maintain some semblance of balance in the world so that neither the Celestials nor the Void can creep in, because every time something good happens, the Void answer and something equally bad happens. Every time something bad happens, then the Celestials answer, and they put more chains, the chains of order and prophecies on the people where they can't make their own choice. And so she wanted to free everyone from that. She wanted to free people from the fear of chaos and from the dictatorship of order from the Celestials and their prophecies. And so she shows you that room, and shows you how there are many of them there, as sort of an initiation onto your role here. Your role is to stop imbalances, to stop responses from these entities. But if you're doing this in their name, if you're doing this in the name of what is considered the general good, for example, or if you're doing this because you really love Soraka and faith, you know, and stuff like that, if you're doing this because you want to destroy everything because chaos rules, they are getting points. And there was a system, in fact, about that, where I was keeping track of everything. And so LeBlanc found a way to balance this out. She is going to be the one acting on everything. Something bad happens, she is going to compensate it herself. And so this action, her having her intention set on keeping balance until the final moment, her action does not cause anything and is just an answer of the own world, almost like freeing the world from the chains of everyone and all of these entities. She frees it herself. And so she finds these two groups. She finds Vongoth, which was her ally from the beginning. She finds you guys, and she sees in you potential for you guys to help her in her mission. And the final battle, in fact, is a battle against Rise, when he has all of the runestones and the Void's power corrupting him. That is the final battle of Rune. That is when the pale sand beneath your feet is finally seen as a savior and not as something to be stepped on. And hence those rooms were created by Zillion to show LeBlanc the message and to help her in her ways of guiding the world throughout, you know, a bunch of failures in potential catastrophes, where the Void creeps in and then the Celestials come down and there's like a huge fight and all mortal life is just eliminated because nobody gives a shit about you anymore, because they're fighting against each other.
Yeah.
And Eclipse has a dream about that was given to him by LeBlanc, or by Carabcels at the time, where he himself is torn between the hand of a Celestial and the tentacle of a creature of the Void, and he's being torn apart. And that's just the result of this war. Is you guys never really win. Whoever wins is one of those entities. You guys are in the middle and you're destroyed. And so in that final fight, when Rise is corrupted, it can't be the Celestials answering his corruption. It has to be someone from Runeterra. And so she gathers a group of heroes to fight Rise and give Runeterra's response to the imbalance, freeing herself from all influence of the Celestials.
Then the final fight would be us and Adadol.
Yes, it's everyone against Rise.
Oh, that'd be
Holy
so
shit.
cool. Can we do that?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's sort of like an Avengers Assemble situation.
Yeah, that's so cool. Oh, that would have been so cool.
That would be
is
like a
Yeah.
fucking 19-hour battle.
It would be me. It was going to.
You against you with you.
In my view, that battle was probably going to last 2 sessions or 3 sessions full. Rise would be like ridiculously strong, and it have to be like a piece by piece stuff.
This is not even my final form.
So yeah, it would be like
Rune.
you guys would have to sort of like step by step get to him,
Yeah.
and then do a bunch of stuff to weaken him, and then attack him in the midst of all that. It was going to be like crazy. I had so many ideas for that I won't reveal because I might use them in the future. I had so many ideas for that. For example, the fight that you guys had with Doomral is actually the fact that Doomral existed in my head as a spirit, did not exist as the form of a dragon. The reason why it has a form of a dragon is because I was watching Critical Role's first campaign, and it was during the Chroma Conclave arc, which is dragon stuff. And so I was fucking addicted to dragons. And the fact that you have to stick javelins is part of another fight of them that they have. It's not really, it's a lot more complicated in their case, but I figured I could keep it simple. Maybe I should have simplified it a little bit more, but yeah, that was
with almost a month and a half hiatus.
Study, bitch.
You didn't answer the rest of the question though. What would happen if we lived a bit more on that?
You would be downgraded to the initial levels, as you know, and you would live out onto that world to do whatever it is you wanted.
Probably fuck it again.
So we could come back.
You can come back at any time. Yeah, all of the dimensions. There's a bunch of dimensions that are accessible. I roll for you to see which one you enter, and you can shift in between. The reason why I do that was to, in the future, if there was like a one shot where, I don't know, like Thorbian wants to be a cleric so that no one gets healed, you guys would be able to like switch roles, and you would have a world where that happens, you know, where there's Thorbjorn is a cleric and Bryto is a rogue, you know, there's like this world where everyone switches. So I have a bunch of like alternate universes ideas all around this situation.
Okay. What the fuck was my class?
What do you mean?
Was I a warlock?
No.
Warlock monk?
No.
What was the entity? What was the incarnation?
The incarnation of anger is a representation of your own
My anger?
frustrations and angers with you being completely useless to your team by not being able to take damage, by just abusing the same mechanic and not being able to do anything different. That was your class. It was a mix of a barbarian, because to be honest, barbarian might be the only class you can ever play in your life because of your Ungabunas ADHD. So what I wanted to do was, I know that you like the whole key point stuff because you like to do a bunch of shit so that you can, you know, vary around whatever you do. And with a barbarian, if you suddenly turn into a barbarian, it would not make sense, obviously. And barbarians have like super linear gameplay up until a certain region of levels. So I thought you'd get bored of that as well. As this version of monk, you have a bunch of options. However, you are still able to tank some damage and deal some damage in return, very similar to the damage that a barbarian would do. Obviously your class is broken as shit. It's probably the most broken class I've ever read, and I've read and played with a dragon monk. But your class with that item is broken as shit.
Yeah,
should,
but then
should not exist.
Brydo, but then Brydo can is resistant against necrotic, and all I do is necrotic damage.
He's resistance because he died.
Who's supposed to die, boy?
Yeah.
Why are you even fighting your friend?
But even the dragon was the dragon resistant to necrotic?
Brighto's face. No, the dragon was immune to necrotic.
Was immune.
Necrotic and fire. Yeah.
Well, it's a
So what the
dragon.
fuck? How
It's a
would I
child
do
of dragon.
damage?
You
Your
would
damage is
use
not
the
only
javelin.
necrotic. Your damage is not only
Yeah.
necrotic. And once you get rid of the paranoia,
We had no spear.
he loses it.
We could
I know.
have.
You
That's
could
what
have.
he means.
Yeah, that's what I'm
I
saying.
was useless that fight.
You were not. You don't deal just necrotic damage, you dumbass. Only when you have
I
the
do.
No, when you have the
Incarnation-
incarnation. No, it adds extra necrotic damage to your hits.
There's always a normal.
Do you read your shit, man?
I do, but my normal hits hit like shit.
What do you? You have to be kidding me, dude. Right now, you have to be fucking kidding me. You hit like a normal monk, you dumbass.
And
You're
that's
a-
like shit.
It's not. What do you mean? It's like shit, dude. What do you want? 5 sneak attacks in 1 turn?
No,
Yeah,
no,
I
but
just
what-
want to say there
but
was
my
no
five-
assassinate in like the last 10 fights.
And I allowed you to use it in situations where it shouldn't, because assassinate.
Yeah.
The way that assassinate works is if a creature is surprised. So
Yeah.
even if the
Thank
creature
you.
wasn't surprised and
Well,
you
Sage Initiative never got the first place.
and you hit it before, like in the before it took a turn, you would crit, but that's not how assassinate works.
I love it, I think.
But what about the 5th, the 10th? Yeah, but those two attacks, the number of attacks, and
Yeah.
when I used the weapon, it was all necrotic damage.
Dude, Torbjorn had one job this fight. It was stick the fucking spears in him with the natural 20. You were the only one who could fly. You have been saving the natural 20 for a situation. This was a situation. Yeah, cover your face, dickhead. You had one job this fight, dude. One job. That was it. After that, Eclipse, Brighto, Sade, they have a fuck ton of damage. Sade was cursed. You guys didn't even give a shit. Sade was cursed from the moment she grabbed the
Yep.
dagger. She could not attack with any other dagger.
cared. Nobody cared.
She was cursed by that, and whenever she took sunlight, she would see at disadvantage. And it would burn her. That's why the cloak would cover up for her. Nobody gave a shit. But she was dealing a fuck ton of damage too. She had her dagger. Pretty cool dagger, by the way.
Cool. And I couldn't jump. I used it only once to heal Torbjorn.
Whenever she stabbed someone in the back with that item, it would deal an extra 3d6.
Holy shit.
I
Yes.
couldn't.
Legit, it was a sick item. And there's Shadow Slash, which was the weapon that Adadal had. One of the swords. He has Shadow Slash. And Shadow Slash is insane. You guys didn't even get to see this item. I'll show you right now.
Yo, XQC, calm down.
Oh, no.
I'm pissed. Shut up.
Look
Look at that. You also missed Yomu's Ghostblade and Zeal.
Where?
Zeal was around Master Yi's neck if he wasn't completely fucking shattered by Doomra.
Where was it?
And around the Master Yi's neck. And Yomu's, it was
You
added on
didn't
that.
take it. Yeah, you were gonna respect and leave the blades there.
No, he was dead. He was you guys had no idea where that shit was, dude. You had to roll a really high perception to know. That shit was destroyed. And Yomu's was along with my brother, my buddy, my guy Adadal. Adadal had 3 swords: Stormrazor, Shadow Slash, and Yomu's, and he was fucking insane with it, dude. If you guys had seen this guy fight, you guys would have like jizzed in your pants. It was really, really good. He would like the blade Shadow Slash has like a blood price it has to pay.
Yeah.
So he has to slash himself, and he takes 3d6 every time he slashes himself with the sword to pay the blood price. And then he has. I pride myself of these names because these are like Naruto names, you know. He has Shadow Formation, 1000-year Torture. When you hit an attack with this weapon, it generates a charge up to a total of 10 charges. When you reach 10 charges, you can use an action to sheath the weapon, dealing 6d10 slashing damage to the target of your last attack. Shadow Slash can't be drawn for the next 2 turns. So this is pretty much that samurai thing where you hit a bunch and then you and everyone dies. That's the thing.
Cool.
And then he has Shadow Formation Blood Rain, Whenever you hit an attack with the weapon, blood is left floating in the air. If the wielder takes damage, it is reduced by 1d4 for each stack of blood. It was just such a sick weapon, dude. And I was like,
Oh, you get protected? Is that it?
yeah, pretty much. The blood heals you every time you.
How could we get those weapons? We couldn't.
The Shadow Slash, you had to. There was a bunch of circumstances that allowed Adadal to reach that temple faster than you. I don't remember exactly, but it's rolls. As you know, as I told you guys, I roll everything to see if shit happens. So I rolled, and he makes it there faster and grabs the sword. Storm Razor, you ignored it for a while, so he just went on himself. He asked you. Nobody gave a shit. Just went got the sword for himself. Eventually figured it out with the help of Ainil. And the Yomuzi took it from someone.
Yasu!
No, the character that had Yomu's was Kane. And Adadal beat Kane and took the sword from him.
Shit, Kane was really weak.
And it was a fucking sick fight that I rolled for myself and nobody saw. But it was pretty cool in my head.
I can't imagine. I can't imagine Onion like, and now he does this. He's like, oh.
No, legit.
But no,
he does this.
He does this. And, oh.
Legit. That's kind of how it happens. That's how I run the fight. When I ran the Doomral fight for myself, that's kind of what happened. I was like, imagine like all this cool shit of you guys doing it, and then you get there and.
That's not so.
It was.
Okay, now I have 3 questions before you go into the last.
I still have one.
May I go ahead?
Oh, okay, then go.
Again, it's on this subject, so maybe it's. Were any of you with like our final weapons? You just revealed that Shadow Slash was with Adolf. For example, this is a sword. Did it make any sense for Said? First of all, it was supposed to be for Said because this is I don't even know. Was even the shadow thingy for Said? So yeah, were we all with our final weapons or not even?
Brido has been with his from the start. Torbjorn has his as well.
Yeah.
You had yours ever since you got the 2 daggers. Those were the 2 legendary, the 2 legendary daggers that would evolve with time. However, as I saw your frustrations, because it's hard. Like I'll tell you guys this in chat and to everyone watching out on YouTube if there is anyone. Said or Imna is a really tough player to get a hold of mentally. And why is this? Why is this? Because Imna gets mad if she's not doing a lot of stuff, but when she has a lot of stuff to do, it's too much text. It's too much text for her to read, and she doesn't know what to do. So it was super duper hard for me to do stuff for Said.
My daggers were simple though. I don't think I missed combos.
Your daggers were simple. Yes, I made them simple because of your text problem. Yeah. Now your.
No, but now I had a full combo with like.
Exactly. Why did I
doing things and I was doing things with them? But.
Why did I do that? Why did I do that? Why did I give you that combo of items?
Why?
Because I know I had a feeling, and maybe it was me, and if this was me putting that energy into the universe, I'm sorry. I knew that you were gonna need it. I knew that you were going to need those items at some point, and to have that combo against the Order of the Shadows at some point. Because giving you a linear combo satisfies something in you, which is the need to do the most optimal thing and not exactly the thing that you want. So I gave you a triple items that would combo with each other so that you'd have a linear combo, and I even volunteered myself to tell you the combo.
Yeah, it's fine to me.
So this way your whatever it is that you have in there was going to be satisfied, because now you're like, fucking shit, I don't need to worry anymore on how to attack. I have this like sheet of things that I just need to do in order, and everything's fine. You know, I can just think about other stuff anyway. I was wrong. It didn't help at all. It just it was the same shit either way. The same shit happened. So
not really, because the only fight we had after that was this one actually.
Yeah, I know, but that's what I'm
No, it
saying. The same shit
I died at
happened.
the end.
You died anyway. So
Yeah,
you
but
didn't
that's
even
the thing.
get.
I was trying. But that's the thing. I tried. I knew what it did. What it did.
Yeah.
I checked with you to see. So this is
Mhm.
what happens. And you're like, yeah, and you can do this. And I'm like, yeah. And then everyone starts dying.
I know exactly, and that's why I'm pissed too, because you didn't get to do anything. You didn't even get to do the combo, because her combo is all about. I was really inspired about like
So cool.
rogues in WoW and how they
Yeah.
like prepare abilities.
That
How they
was
have
pretty cool.
they have a whole setup, and then they have an opener, and everything happens at once, and then you're dead. And so my thing was like, okay, so she takes a turn to set up her shadow clone, takes shadow clone, forms the shadow clone behind. Next turn, hit with shadow shot, leaves the mark, then TPs. The turn after, backstab,
Nice.
sneak attack with the dagger, and then if she gets hit there, vanishes and teleports back to the clone. That was like Sade was supposed to be in out really fast if she hit the attacks. Obviously, if she kept missing, well, fuck. But that was like my idea for Sade, and then you didn't get to do it. So sucks, but it is what it is. At least you used it once to the teleport. You used it once
for
to
Torbjorn.
save Torbjorn from an early death. Just so happens he died a few sessions after anyway. But he lasted a little bit longer.
But I used the TP.
Yeah. That was
No, but then in that case, those were for me the final set eventually.
as soon as you're off of this paranoia shit and you're off of the shadow stuff, maybe I was considering it. I was giving them a chance, but I was considering just saying, hey, you notice that Sade is kind of weird, champ,
Yeah.
for them to break your curse.
And then
If
go
it
back.
wasn't happening, but I was really hopeful that they would notice. And then you'd go back to your other items, and they would be different by that time.
Oh, that's cool.
I actually, that is one thing that I didn't plan at the time, because I wanted to see how you would be with Argath, because depending on your connection, I was gonna add stuff to the daggers depending on if you were closer or not to him. I would either like make the daggers do some crazy poison stuff, some like mind fuck type of stuff. I ended up creating an item similar to that in a one shot, for a one shot. Tresh's character has it now, which is the Dagger of Lies, where pretty much you can fake stab people. You can stab people, but it won't deal damage. However, if you successfully hit them anyway, they will believe, and they fail to save, they will believe anything you say to be absolute truth in your next sentence. And then the more people you have under this influence, if you have up until a number of people under your influence like that, while they're next to you, while you're in an area close to them, you have like an enormous bonus to charisma, and you can just lie through your teeth and nothing happens.
I love it.
Yeah,
That's a very interesting
that was one of the things that I was going to do for your daggers, for
that was if I
the
was
mind
doing
one.
Darda.
Yeah, the mind one.
Yeah, because it was a mind slasher. Yeah.
That was the one that I was going to do. But yeah, that was kind of that was what I was thinking that I was going to do. I ended up transitioning it to the other world, so it is in the other world. So whenever you guys get to live in it and interact with it, it will be fun. Let's see if Tresh's character does with that dagger. But it is because Tresh's character is a warlock, and not a Pact of the Blade warlock, not a Hexblade, none of that. He's the one with the Book of Shadows. So he's not even supposed to melee attack, but he has the Dagger of Lies now because he was the one grabbing it.
Yeah, that happened.
So yeah, in fact, if it had been Torbjorn grabbing the dagger and not you, Sade, it would have been him cursed with the dagger.
That would be interesting. Him.
But I just knew it was gonna be you grabbing it.
Of course, it's a dagger.
Yeah.
Why would I grab it?
It wasn't even a question, but it was Torbjorn would have died
It could have happened.
from the
He
trap.
tried to grab it.
Torbjorn would have died from the trap.
He was the first one to try to grab it.
In fact, I can tell you what
Yeah, because I had my bow and that's why I didn't get affected because
Yeah.
it's another cursed item.
I can tell you why what the trap did. I have it somewhere.
Why was the bow cursed suddenly? Because it was just normal bow, and then it.
The guy in the shop, he's from the Order of the Shadows. Heejin.
The chair guy is from the Order Shot.
Yeah. He is not a Vastaya.
Okay.
That is an illusion.
Sad.
So he sold me a bow, and I'm like, and then suddenly, whoops, it's a shadow bow. Okay.
Yeah.
He does sell some sick chairs though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. But yeah,
He
let me
made the statues of us and all that. So
let me
that's
see where it is.
cool. We exist there. In this shop.
Okay, there you go. If any creature attempts to open the exhibitor without drawing it or without disarming it, it must make a DC 13 Constitution saving throw. On a failure, the creature is reduced to 0 hit points. If it fails the save for more than 5, it is killed. On a success, it takes 4d10 necrotic damage. So that would have been Revivify right there. that could have been Revivify right there. But that was the trap. That was there.
Didn't we just literally shot the dagger out of the box?
Yeah, that's why you kind of he opened it.
Genius.
He like Born opens it, almost dies, and the dagger is there, and you shoot it out.
There we go.
But yeah.
Genius moves.
Yeah, that was smart. That was good. That was good. That was very smart. The sleeping part, that was the part. It was not smart.
No,
But
that
Yeah.
was fun.
but the rest was
okay.
yeah.
Moving. More questions because it's getting late.
Yeah, go ahead.
Tomorrow I have to work. So now to the party. Aside from this fight, were there any moment that you guys regret not doing differently?
The beast. The sacred beast, you know.
The
Queen
Jewel
one.
Protector.
What?
Ew, there you go.
It was before you. It was before you.
Oh.
The one where we almost died too. That was my mind.
What about you, Brighto?
Not really. I don't think so.
And you,
I'm trying
Eclipse.
to remember if there's any.
To be honest, no. I love the other one.
All right. And you, Torbjorn.
Almost everything.
Well,
Torbjorn was the type of guy to walk into shit and then think that it was walking into shit.
maybe I shouldn't.
All right, that's fair enough. There's a question for the party in chat right now before you continue. What was your favorite part to roleplay during the campaign?
Sheila!
That was pretty sick.
Yes! That was great.
The favorite part of roleplay.
Mm.
I don't know. Discovering the fun it is to roleplay. I don't have a favorite part because.
Dude,
You and the bitch ass answers, dude. I swear to God.
But it's true. I don't
Okay,
have a favorite part that I've roleplayed.
Okay,
I
guy
mean,
in
maybe-
D&D.
Maybe when I punched this Terra in the face because of the Because of-
the war.
because of the
What?
prank,
The
or maybe the
slugs?
pranks. The
The slugs.
slugs or the pranks with Brido.
The torch prank.
Yeah. The Torchbjorn.
My favorite part to roleplay with you was the fight against Wugan. The guy that had the Spear of Shojin before you.
Yeah, that was fun too. It's like I said, I don't think I have one favorite moment. I have a lot of cool moments in my head.
Bitch.
It's the truth. It's the truth.
You can see how this man plays the whole campaign even through this. There's just so many. He just can't pick one. There's just,
I just remember one for me that it was role playing the sneaking out to get souls, and you always making something retarded like, oh, you caught someone in a alley, which is just, you know,
Peeing.
guy doesn't have a bathroom, yeah, so it's just there.
Yep.
But I feel like also that's the funny part. But I really felt the conflict of Saved with the story division.
Mhm.
So I think that was really cool to try to live through and just, you know, yeah.
oh, I have a good answer.
Go ahead, go. Say.
The part when Brighto just had the conversation with one of the brothers or something in the island,
Yeah.
because of when he like winked at the guy or something. He was
The
flirting
kid.
with a
Before
guy
the boat?
before the Spear of Sojin.
the island of All In.
Yeah. I know there was some kind of weird flirting with the guy.
There was, yeah.
That was funny as fuck.
That was kind of weird chump for me. I like doing that because I think it's like it's fun for you guys to be, you know, all inclinated. Yeah.
Overall, having to make a character that was designed to be the one that stays behind and just listens, and all of the sudden I have to be the front guy and I have to take care of
That was
this.
cool.
Yeah, that was pretty sick.
That was a very nice.
That was interesting and hard to do.
Evolution.
A lot of.
Yeah, it was a big arc for
yeah,
Brighter.
for Brighter, it was huge.
From a shy guy to a member of
and
the
then
council.
stepping up. That was
nice. Yeah. How about you, Eclipse? Do you have any moment? Is it the slugs too?
Well, I have some moments where I enjoyed, like the slugs. I enjoyed awkwardly apologizing to Faith.
that was funny.
That was
that
good.
was a nice moment too.
That was good.
But of roleplay, well, I mostly did it with Brighto, the talk. So they were also nice. But yeah, my favorite was the one where I was gathering the hairs for the potions when they were all hiding on the brothers'
so
store.
Cool.
Yeah.
That was so cool, dude. That was so cool. That was one of my favorite moments as well. My favorite moment, however, in roleplay was Doomral. I think the whole setup for this guy and all the shit that you guys went through to then have this beast released into the world, deceiving you with a burned city, it was kind of my favorite because the way that I wanted to push this spirit out into the world was making you guys think that this mind piercer guy was like a bitch, that he was like super powerful and he was inside your minds, and it was like it was annoying that he was inside your minds and it was bad, but he wasn't really the leader. He wasn't the most dangerous thing. And to have Doomral out into the world, although it ended up ending something that I love so much, it is pretty satisfying for me as a DM because world-ending creatures or like super powerful villains that are not just that setup, because you've had and he was going to talk to you guys and there was like a bunch of dialogue planned for you guys to have that experience of the like ultra complex villain that was always there but you never saw him, and all of that. But my favorite type of villain is that like raw fucking dick, you know? It's like that guy that is just raw dick. He's just in there and he's gonna fuck your shit up, like whatever happens. And Doomral was kind of that, you know, having this like giant dragon to control that was going to potentially end the world and could kill all of you pretty easily was super cool to see, because it puts the fear of God into people that are playing against it. When you see this like gigantic creature and you're not afraid of it because it's smart, because it has a genius plan. You're afraid of it because it's a giant fucking dragon. And I like that because that's the fantasy of the thing, putting the fear in you, and not exactly some fucked up plot that I wrote when I was you know, at 3 a.m. in the dark writing and crying because everything sucks. You know, it was something that was there because everyone fucking knows dragons are badass, and I like that because it gave me a semblance of the fantasy world of general, let's say general D&D inside of Rune, for like that one moment where you guys like, fuck, there's a dragon out and he fucked the fucking city down. It's like destroyed it, so they burnt to the ground. And I'm like, yeah, that's awesome. I know. I mean, not awesome for the people that died, but awesome because there's a dragon. Yeah, that's my favorite thing. It's that. Oh, also the poems I did and telling them there's not roleplay, cool. But I like doing that.
I like to add that I really loved your other doll. I feel like the personality gave it, and the accent, and just the interactions. And I did enjoy the interactions with Said and watching Torbjorn
the
running.
race,
That was so funny.
the race with
That
Adadal was one of the highlights.
Yeah.
Adadal was a great player character that you.
Yeah, I kind of made it my own. So I played one of the characters that I would like to play if I ever played it. I played it in him.
I feel like you gave him a great personality.
And it was pretty sick to see. And then at the end when he talks to you, you can see he's different. Like he's more real now.
No, that's what I mean. It was great.
But yeah,
it was great interactions.
Anyway, wait 1 second, Born. Dust is asking if he can send the 2-page Word document of Dust Paragon. No, you can't, because I have the changed version of it. Of that item.
No, he can, because I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't gonna read it.
So I can show him the changed version, which would be the final in the game.
I'm gonna be I'm not gonna read a 2-page document about one item.
You can send it anyway, I guess, but it's not. That would not be the one.
I'm sorry, Dust. My attention span is not that.
Sucks you died to a dragon. True, dude. It is what it is. What was the question you were going to ask then?
To the 3 guys that died with me. Knowing what you know now, if we could go back to the beginning, would you create a different character?
No.
I just love the duality of the personality and the powers and the possibilities I can do during the day or during the night. And there are stuff I didn't even explore, like getting a love life during the day, getting a love life during the night. And that stuff I could have gone through, but yeah. I died a virgin.
A virgin!
Well, you know, D&D, bro. I'm gonna make a one-shot specifically, which is gonna be Eclipse's journey through sex. And we're just gonna we're gonna get everyone, and we're gonna do that. How about you, Born?
I don't know if I would make a monk, but I did like the monk. I did like the class. Actually, now the incarnation of anger.
I know what Onion needs to
Carry
do
on.
right now.
Be honest, motherfucker.
No, I'm being honest. At the beginning, I fucking hated monks. Like those weak ass punny
The
shit
one
that don't.
guy that had more than all of us together, probably.
Yeah.
Still
Could do so much
say
and just
shit
tank
about his
everything
own-
and like
Dude,
punch.
at the beginning, I didn't.
Punch.
I didn't. Once we got to a certain level, that I actually found like the mechanics and things that I was comboing, milking them, with Said, milking the mechanics. It was actually somewhat.
We did it like twice though. Yeah. 'Cause
No,
I also couldn't go
it
in
was
the front.
it was
Like
it was a lot of
twice.
times.
Sure,
No,
a
Twice.
day, twice a day.
it was like a lot of fights. We were just like
The fuck?
Advantage.
advantage. I was like doing 7 attacks per round with advantage. It was ridiculous.
Yes, I know. I still was hiding half of it.
Yeah. But after the revamp and
I know what I suffered.
after having more like key to spend, I actually was enjoying monks. But if I had to go to the beginning, like to go through those early monks levels, I would probably go for a different class. Something in mind more like either Olaf or Garen or Mordekaiser would be fun.
You just think that I would just fucking do anything for you, right?
I was
Kinda
just saying.
did, so
I was just
Jesus.
saying what I would like to play as, like.
the mechanic.
I will say I would not have changed anything because I understand that there were a lot of monsters that I created myself and I balanced them specifically for Rune and for the fact that you're broken as shit, all of you. So there were a lot of like creatures that I sort of specifically made it so you guys, like, one of you gets knocked down, but you're not really in like going to die there unless you're super dumb. Of course, that happened a bunch of times. I don't know. That was like the way I was balancing the creatures. And
the save on Brido, that was a clutch.
that was pretty cool.
That was a fucking
that
clutch.
was
The
a
criti-
22 or whatever. On
No,
the
it was
roll.
natural 20. It was natural 20.
Natural
Yeah,
20. Yeah,
but
that
it
was
had
a fucking
something-
clutch.
If it wasn't natural 20, it would have not happened. Even if it was
It-
29, it would not happen.
Yeah.
Had to be critical success. So yeah, you guys had like a bunch of fail safes. You had a bunch of fail safes to help you out and guide you through the campaign. And it always like sort of like what I wanted to do with you, because I knew that you guys wanted to be the hero so much while playing D&D, was I made your characters broken as fuck so that you look like you feel like you're a hero, but everything was buffed and changed to match it still. So there wasn't really, the difficulty was adjusted, let's say. So it created the illusion of you guys being fucking machines, but the whole world around you was a fucking machine too. That's me. That's kind of like what happened, but I wouldn't have changed it. I realized from the moment that we played our second episode and Imna got a rock to the face.
Yeah.
That
It's a beautiful rock.
that
5 HP or something.
yeah, it's just a big ass kaljao. I thought that in my honest opinion, I thought, dude, like, I'm playing D&D for the first time myself as a DM. I'm going to make mistakes. I want to give these guys like a world where they can do their own shit. So there's just no point in like consistently just going with like regular difficulty when I see that you guys struggle a little bit organizing yourselves. And so I
already increased the difficulty for ourselves.
Exactly. So
We don't need the DM doing that.
I adjusted everyone. I adjusted everything so that you guys would feel the difficulty. You guys would feel the difficulty, but it would not be something that like guys have previously stated and previously had done, that was adjusted for people that play for a long time. And so since it was your first campaign, you guys didn't really know how to do things, had tons of shit to manage. I figured it was good to have the fail-safe mechanics, like Brido's revive, and it was good to sort of adjust stuff. His revive, the revive that he got when he died.
The mother.
Yeah, it was his mother. The revive he got from his mother was a failsafe on the cleric. I thought the cleric was the only one with a free revive. Why? Because I fucking knew you were gonna let him die. I fucking knew it. And so I said, if cleric dies this bad.
And because you also, for like a good amount of sessions, whenever we had a fight, Brido was the focus.
Yeah, exactly. So I knew he was gonna fucking die. He was gonna leave, and you guys would have no cleric. Either in the middle of a fight, he would all have died. Kind of what happened. Interesting that it ended up like my biggest fear at the start of the campaign was exactly what happened.
The campaign!
Yeah, it was exactly what happened at the end. Because it was legit. My biggest fear when I started with you was like, well, if we don't let Brido die, there's always going to be a chance. And look at him now playing with his cat. So, oh god. Oh god, that is gross. I don't
think my
Okay, then my last quick question
Go ahead.
I sort of asked this to Onion, so now I'll ask to the others. If you could have chosen the region that we would have started, would it be Ionia or would you pick another one?
I'll go first. The Onion already said, like, I really wanted to interact with Ari somehow, so it would be Ionia for me soon. But Annie would have been pretty cool, honestly.
To be honest, for me, it would be irrelevant since my character didn't know much about the world. So, since for me as a player, well, same.
I would love Shurima, and Brighto would love Shurima. There's a thing that I didn't discuss a lot with Onion, because when I asked him, he told me, "Oh, we're probably going to Failure or something," and I was like, "Okay."
At the end.
In my head, since the start, I wanted to make Shurima a place that Brighto went through, and it kept in his brain that it was a interesting place with a lot to discover, with a lot of things about ancient stuff that would probably give a lot about Soraka's coming in and stuff like that.
Okay.
To be fair, in Shurima, if you guys had been there during like the same timeline, this would be sort of the timeline where Azir comes back and begins rebuilding the empire and begins rebuilding the Shurima nation. So you would have interacted with Ascended should you be there. In fact, I have a storyline planned, because as you know, as DM you need to improvise a bunch of stuff, and I have a bunch of things planned in case certain things happen, and then I kind of choose according to what's happened. Yeah, like what is happening now? How would this be cool? What would be cool? You have to sort of and improvise scenarios as well. But there was one planned scenario, which was there is a place in Ionia, or there was, where Varus was imprisoned.
Oh, yeah. We could have.
Varus is one of the Darkin now in the League storyline, and so should I have picked this road, you would have gone there and known one of the Darkin, and your next stop, knowing that someone was trying to revive all of the Darkin, your next stop would have been Shurima to bargain with Azir, Nasus, and all of the Ascended there to help you in a massive battle against the Darkin, which would have been Aatrox, it would have been Varus, it would have been a bunch of them that I had planned. But eventually, midway through Rune, I just saw something in the Order of the Shadows that I wanted to make them bigger, and I wanted to make them more sort of like have a little bit more emphasis in this world. And so, since you have already had the whole plan like laid out, I developed further up on that plan with the ancient weapon, the ancient Order of the Shadows. All of that, I kind of like built on top of it and went for it like that. But Shurima was one of the possible storylines. Definitely.
No.
So, all questions are answered?
Yep.
All right. So, we've been here for about the same duration as a session of Rune. So
we're alive though.
Yeah. So... If there's no other questions from chat, which I believe there aren't. Oh yeah, Phil mentioned Hashi and his talent. Yes, Hashi is 100% based off of Hashirama Senju from Naruto. There's a bunch of like references to shit that I like all across the Rune. There's a bunch more in my world, but in Rune there's like a bunch of them. And Naruto references, they're everywhere, legit. You can find them like anywhere. You just look a little bit close, it's Naruto. Avengers everywhere. I mean, the whole thing was supposed to be that, you know. There's Star Wars, there's Lord of the Rings. In fact, fucking shit, I forgot. You guys don't know what the items from the Yamato Brothers shop were. And that is pretty important. You guys didn't know what the ultimate luck was and what the ring of ruling was. So
Felix Felicis from Harry Potter.
The ultimate luck is Felix Felicis from Harry Potter, which is pretty much the potion that guarantees you're really lucky. And here it would guarantee you a critical hit. The ring of ruling was the one ring from Lord of the Rings.
No.
And you would have insane powers if you had stolen this from them. And I don't know if you remember where this ring was, because the ultimate luck was on the bad guy's side. The ring of ruling was on the good guy's side.
Oh, that's good.
So the ring of ruling would have been an item that would have allowed you guys to create ring wraiths, the Nazgul. You would have been able to have Nazgul to fight with you. Pretty much. Yeah. You just needed 500,000 gold, or to steal it from him.
We were rich.
Or to steal it from him.
Very good.
But yeah, the ring of ruling was there.
Yeah, it wasn't in our nature to steal shit. If
100%.
we had,
Well,
we had the hero mentality. No, be serious, Said. We had the hero
I was
mentality.
always bargaining, stealing.
You
was-
weren't bargaining. You weren't gonna. You
Dude,
wasn't
I
gonna
literally
steal.
lost our biggest piece of information, a book that taught, you know,
Still, you weren't gonna
monk
steal.
things, my fucking tooth,
You weren't
because I
gonna
tried to steal gold.
The moment
My-
you would only steal if
The thing is, I wouldn't
if
steal
you could
because
see-
they were
yeah.
OP, so I just
and
didn't
not
want to
only
die.
that, they were
I
we
wasn't
considered
dumb.
we considered them nice guys. If they were evil,
Nope,
we might
were
have
OP.
considered.
Too OP to steal.
Oh, there are also possible allies together for the fight with Doomral, as well as Hashi,
I kinda
Butsu.
tried, but they were like.
I thought of that, but they said you
We
said
don't-
they. Yeah, we don't
They
meddle
said they
with
didn't.
the.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't gather the necessary conditions to gather them as allies. One of the necessary conditions, or one of the possible conditions, was you being able to somehow steal Dust's Paragon from them. They would recognize your talent and your strength, and would
That was the sword, right?
and would
Yeah,
have
that was
the sword, yeah, and would have allowed them to
We
help.
were just trying to
Those people-
leave. That's
those
the thing,
people
we didn't
were-
plan about it.
Those people were the grandchildren of Doran, the guy from Doran's shield, Doran's ring, Doran's blade.
Oh.
They were his grandchildren. Yeah.
Oh shit.
And they represented
Okay.
that same duality of this world of the chaos and order in between them, but the perception was shifted because of Argath. Why did Argath want that? I don't even know myself. I just thought it would be funny if he did it.
You little shit. Okay.
No, it's
That was-
actually
a
cool
cool
to think
detail, a
like
cool
it's
detail. Yeah.
it's like yin and yang. Like
Yeah.
it's a bit of a little bit of dark on the light and a little bit of light on the dark.
There's a
That's
lot
what
of there's a lot of stuff that happened in Rune that I improvised that turned out to fit so perfectly, and it was almost as if I was in alignment with the fucking
Do you
universe or some
remember
shit.
any?
Yeah, Argath.
Yeah, taking that.
Argath. The fact that the Shimon Vastaya that you guys fought, that character was inspired on Phil's niece.
Yes.
And Kiara Shimu. And the fact that Kiara Shimu became a Vastaya Shirate, she wasn't supposed to be, but she became a Vastaya Shirate, was an improvisation that felt so good. But it was something that where she became something else. She's just supposed to be an assistant of Phileas. But I was like mid one session, I was like, fuck man, that makes no sense. Like why would he have that? No, I'm gonna make her something big. I'm gonna make her something big. And the fact that that whole arena was an illusion, that was also improvised. The illusion,
That was creepy as fuck.
the arena illusion, was never supposed to happen.
I'm not gonna lie. I kind of felt that. I kind of caught up on that.
The
I
whole
didn't, I was like-
illusion on the arena was improvised, 100%. It was supposed, you were not supposed to be able to break it.
Oh. We're supposed to...
No, you're supposed to fight Phileas in the illusion, and until you figure out that he was somehow manipulating you, and then through your intentions focus your attacks to be able to hit him. However, I was like, I have like Argath in here somewhere. I have Kindred. There's got to be a way for them to break the illusion, and so the illusion being torn apart, that was improvised. That was not supposed to happen. That was 100% improvised. Otherwise, you would just fight him in the illusion until you would hit him once through the illusion, and it would shatter everything around you.
Yeah.
Was there any...
And you just wanted to punish me. Just be honest.
Oh,
You wanted to kick my ass.
I didn't
I got
need that
my
to kick your ass. I mean, look at Doomral, dude. I didn't need that to kick your ass.
Hey.
Was there any
Duh.
moment where we were like, whoa, you weren't expecting something from us, and we just, wee! Except
Oh yeah!
Whoa!
The guy, the warden, when you guys jump into the water, that was the
Oh yeah.
catastrophe. I was like, what the fuck? When Sade says, I want to bring them water, I'm like, what the shit?
What's to do?
I was like, I was panicking for you guys. 'Cause I had no idea how that shit was gonna end, dude. I had no idea. And then you jump into the water and I'm like, fucking shit. Like, what happens now? There's a whole city after them. They're gonna die here. But then rolls happen. Jesus, man, that was
The jumping out of the window was fucking.
Yeah.
that is the weirdest shit I've ever seen, dude. That was the weirdest shit I've ever seen. I was like, there was a few moments where you got this was the one that stuck with me though. Oh, of course, the boat. You searching? I also like.
Sorry.
You searching the boat and fucking up everything after?
Sorry.
I also, yeah, that I was like, oh my god. I was like internally face palming like time after time, like, what the fuck is happening?
Oh, I remember the question. Sorry, because you mentioned the boat. Could I have used the Ophel's teeth anywhere? Because I was trying to, but there was never any Vastaya wolf around us. Could I like
did you ever
I
ask me?
looked around, you know, it was always monks or potato.
I'm gonna tell you
never
something.
described there's a Vastaya here.
I'm gonna tell you something. If you don't say, I am looking for a wolf Vastaya, I am not going to tell you there's a wolf Vastaya. You have to intently, you can't just say, I want to just look around, see what's here, and expect me to give you an information that is very, very detailed, unless you roll a natural 20.
You were always detailing though. You were like, oh, you see people.
No,
Oh, you see.
that's not detailed.
But you're like, oh, the bartender is this race, or you see tons of blah 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 blah. You were always detailing races, so that's just mean.
That's
Okay.
important. Those are things that are important for where you are right now. Now, if you're searching for something, there's a lot of times where you guys rolled over like 25 perception, and you thought I was giving you detail. I wasn't. I just make it look detailed because it's my job.
But I could have used it. Okay.
Yeah, you could have.
I wanted to use.
Hey man, it is what it is. Anyway, if there are no more questions, I think it's time for us to end our little.
But you didn't say the end game.
It's
the
right.
end game. Rise.
No.
Right.
Wait.
It's Avengers fight. Can we do
Dude,
that as a
it's
one
been
shot,
3
please?
hours. He's suffering from the
He's
same
already
shit that he
restarting.
always
He's
suffer
Yeah.
on
It's-
Can
episodes.
we,
It's
can
normal.
we
Just,
do that as a one
just
shot, please?
keep going, keep
Hey.
going. Just,
Maybe.
Okay, intro/outro, we know.
Stop bullying me, asshole.
One shot, please.
This is the funniest thing ever, dude. This happening right now is the funniest thing ever.
This is the resume of Thorbjorn.
Yeah, this is just
whole
a
year
1 year and a half. Yeah, in
Yeah.
one moment is this right
and
now.
he asking, oh yeah, Cornel left, right?
Jesus fucking Christ, man. That is funny though. That is kind of on brand for you, so good job. Anyway, since we are
bullying.
shut up. Since that is over, and we have no more questions, I want to just before we finish, I want to thank everyone who joined us in. I will, Phil. Don't worry. Everyone who joined us throughout the campaign and that kept their interests focused on their group's journey. It was definitely it was first time DMing, so it was a journey, a learning experience for me too. And right now, the things that I'm planning for the future of D&D are going to be with all the accumulated experience that I've gathered over this very intense year and a half, because I feel like there's like people that say, hey, a year and a half is like DM just like a little bit of time. Yeah, but when you have these guys, it kind of like multiplies by 5 or some shit. So I'm very excited to sort of change up things now and within my own
Change
world.
up players.
Yeah, that too. Where you guys are not going to be playing together in a
Thank
while. Says right up to Thorbjorn's dead body.
Save you.
Says right up to Thorbjorn's dead
I
body.
had a question. I forgot.
Yeah, go ahead.
Does Brighter rule the world?
Right
Is
now?
the shadow now?
No, you're a puppet. You're a puppet.
Fuck.
You're not Beyonce. So.
You're a
know.
puppet. You're not gonna
Yeah, you have no.
but
Play with you guys again.
maybe like in a one shot or something. But if it's
Fight,
if it's a campaign, I will be splitting you. into parts, and you guys are gonna be playing
chaotic together.
different players. No, it's not that. I just feel like you together don't adjust very well.
Change energy.
Wow.
You don't adjust very well together. Okay, I could go into detail
No,
why.
thank you. We don't have another one.
Yeah, exactly. I
Well,
can.
but wait, no, I'm curious.
Okay, well, I'll satisfy your curiosity another time. But I think that you will mesh together better in different circumstances, in a different setting, and with different people. And fortunately, we've been gathering a lot of people. So in the future, you guys are going to be able to play with. Don't worry, you'll play again together. But if it is one of those shorter campaigns, you're going to be playing split and separately. Also, to bring your experience with me to others and to help them, as you know, you helped each other throughout this journey. It's kind of you guys are going to be guides, giving the gift of D&D to other people. Yeah, Born, we know.
Yeah,
You're gonna guide them into the abyss.
With that reaction.
Hey, is it okay if I do an acrobatics check to jump over this ledge here? Yeah, go ahead, man. Do it. I'm here. I'm supporting you. I'll give you advantage. But yeah.
Advantage for the show.
Me as a guide.
But yeah, that's good. That's going to be 100% the goal. So I thank you, the members of the cast, for once again for participating in Rune. Even though it's like a pre-built world and stuff, you guys still went for it and believed in my story. So that means a lot to me. I'm just telling you that what I have right now is 100 times better than what this was. So you guys are going to love it even more, hopefully, because now I don't just do that type of stuff, like fights and stuff. I can do puzzles too. So
oh my god, we were terrible with puzzles though.
You just wait until I do. I mean, Brido's experienced some of my puzzles, so he knows.
Yeah, and some dude lost a dick, so
no,
Hey,
he didn't lose it.
back.
It's just reversed. It's Picha
okay.
Gumi invertido.
He can still peace, so
Yeah, he
fine.
pees, but it goes up.
Yeah.
It just goes like this.
yeah, when he has a hard on, he goes like.
One shot goes.
It's like hmm?
Oh my god, we
Okay.
lost them.
Okay, then that's because if you imagine he has, he wakes up, he has the morning wood, goes to pee, his wiener is just like facing down the toilet, just straight down.
No, that would actually be cool.
Anyway, yeah,
would
it's
come
kind
in
of
handy.
would be useful. You're right. Okay. Anyway, thank you guys so much for playing. Look, I know that you guys are sad because everyone died, and there was a chance for you guys not to die, but you did. So what we do now, is we move on forward and hope for better things.
And we die again.
Create better things. 100% you're gonna die again. I have no doubt that probably there's gonna be parties that are going to die. But if what matters is the experience that you have together, the memories that you make with your friends, the stories that you tell, reverse dicks, slugs in the face, all of that sort of stuff, happens here in D&D because
Sucking the soul out of a guy while peeing.
yeah, there you go. There's just like
Here's our view.
a bunch of things that you can create with D&D, and
40 feet na direção do gajo.
Yep. those sorts of memories. So yeah, I really appreciate you guys joining along this journey.
Really?
Like
Really?
you.
There you go.
And so for one final time, let us roll
Let
out
us!
the
Our
intro.
intro!
Slash
Slash
outro.
outro.
No, I mean now it's our outro slash outro.
Yeah.
Sniff, sniff.
And finally,
Awesome.
bring an end to Rune. Bring an end to Bryto, Torbjorn, Eclipse, and Sade, who now rest in pieces, except Bryto.
I'm a stone!
In the world. You were pew, by Dumo 100%. He wants the. He's not leaving you there. He's just gonna go there and like, yeah, fuck this one in particular.
Yeah.
No. He's just going there.
Isn't there like torn to pieces?
Yeah, he is ripped apart.
Yeah.
It is what it is, man. Shit happens. But yeah, let us roll out our outro/outro, I guess, and put these characters and this world to rest. Finally, I hope you guys had all of your questions answered. If there's anything ever that you want to ask me more, please go ahead, and I will clarify each and everything. To all of those that want to catch up on the campaign, don't forget to go onto the YouTube and figure out there's the episodes there and shit. And you already know you can follow every single one of these people. If you scroll down below, you will find their links. I'm going to leave them up for a while for anyone who's interested. Then I'm going to remove the Rune banner, Sag.
No!
But
you're not helping.
it has been a blast. Just look forward now. There's gonna be more one shots, and there's gonna be campaigns soon.
For R1D20.
Just suck my wiener.
We'll do. Come meet me, and I'll do it.
All right.
You won't.
Let's roll out the intro/outro and. Bye, guys. Take care, everyone.
Bye.